Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lavery is joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Taberry here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then
it's a rundown.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's go live on a Monday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next 3. We blitz the weekend at 10 o'clock. Austin is going to join us at 10:30, at 11 o'clock. 20 most interesting. Yeah, Michigan is on the slate. Angelique Chengalis will join us on the Wolverines at 11:30. Do you guys remember the point in time where you could not say their name? Like where it became a thing not to? I think it's an urban thing. That's when I remember it. I remember Tress a little, but I don't remember him being quite so, we can't say their name, we won't wear their colors. That felt like Urban to me.
Yeah, Urban was big on that.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever like Voldemort until Urban got here and you couldn't wear blue and it was the team that shall not be named. Like, I don't think like Tressel was ever so explicitly aggressive to not saying, wearing, thinking about. I mean, they thought about it all the time. But, yeah, that was definitely an Urban thing.
Yeah, I don't recall in the Tressel era.
Like, you could wear blue at press conferences. You could wear blue in the facility.
Yeah, for sure.
You could walk around and be comfortable. If you were blue in Urban's presence, you were almost excommunicated.
If you were a scout with the Los Angeles Rams, you could wear your team's colors to the Ohio State practice facility for pro day and not be given another shirt under Tress. Under Urban, it went to DEFCON 1 across kind of all fronts. And it led to, I think Herbie's really right on this, and we'll get into Michigan a little bit more as it goes along, but the rivalry is so central in terms of what the Big Ten is. And in an odd way, wasn't really intending to go here off the top, but just kind of stumbled into it. In an odd way, like Ohio State and Michigan, they're kind of the partners in all of this. And there's never been more vitriol between the two, but they really are partners in what the Big Ten is going to be. If you think from a television perspective, if you think from a where is this league going in the next 5 to 10 years, will there be further expansion? What does this thing look like in the next 5 years? Those two schools, despite their dislike and I think now vitriol for one another, they're going to decide what this thing looks like. They have the most equity. They have the most power. They're the best television shows. And so it's kind of the two of them linked, which is kind of an odd spot, but really where we are with the Big Ten at the moment. Football camp starts this week. We will be there. We'll be there Thursday, and we will be there on Friday. We'll broadcast live. Bone and Tyvus will be there preceding us both days. I've gotten this. This is a time of year where I start to get this more than really anything else. How the Buckeyes going to be this year? Can we beat Texas? I got it probably 5 times this weekend. Excuse me. Whether it was golf or had my niece's birthday party on Sunday, and you get it pretty consistently. And my answer to it is, well, let me see what Sand and Keenholz looks like on Thursday and Friday. Let me see what those guys look like. Because I do think last year, and Reese, you were out there last year too, once I saw Will Howard in practice, even on the first 2 days, I had a feeling of we're going to be just fine. You just felt it. There was a presence to him. There was a charisma. There was a capability. You just said, okay, we're going to be fine. And I think that's kind of where I am with this team. What are those two going to look like Thursday and Friday?
I do think with,
I don't know why I'm coughing.
Are you all right?
It's a Monday. I haven't talked. I don't know. I'm like got a frog in my throat this morning.
You said you were at a birthday party, so I wonder, is anybody else there hacking up lungs?
Of course, but I don't have a cold. I just feel like there's a perpetual frog in my throat.
I mean, you got to get healthy by the time we're out there Thursday. Like, you can't be coughing. If we bring Ryan Day or Ross Bjork or even our good buddy Threes onto the stage, you can't be coughing on them. Like, that's not going to sound or look good.
I think you have that right. How much time do you think we'd be, if Ross comes over, how much time will be sufficient, do you think?
For him?
For us. Like, if
to
we
talk to him?
Yeah, if we could have, like...
Can I get an hour with Ross?
I feel like we could do an hour in our sleep.
He gave 40 minutes to Austin and Berm.
Yeah, we could do an hour easy with him. We'd have to be pretty damn organized, because I'd want it to make sure everything gets asked that needs to get asked. So if he's going to do multiple segments, then we're going to need a little bit of prep on how to weave through that, because there's a lot to get to here.
We could do a whole show with Ross, with everything we need to talk about.
Oh, my God. Just think if we got into, like, his jackets.
Well,
I could do 15 minutes on his jackets.
The thing with being out at training camp is, knowing the listening audience is they're driving through, like, McDonald's for a burger, like for a Big Mac. Let's not try to give them corn dogs. And talking about all the minutia involved with, like, the future of college athletics, I know is interesting for us for a handful of hours, probably our listeners for about 10 minutes.
Yeah. All right. Well,
they want ball.
We'll stay on point.
As we're 33 days out from Ohio State, Texas. I think most of our listeners out there now just want ball.
We're getting close to that. Mm-hmm. We're getting close to that. Yeah.
And like it or not, Michigan's going to be a team that factors into this Big Ten title race this year.
We'll see.
If they get that quarterback right.
We'll see. That you're going to be, if you play the kid, and it sounds like they're paying him a lot of money.
They have to.
Then what does that? There's not a whole lot of true freshman kids who go from, like, do you know how special you would have to be to go from, like, Michigan high school football? Like, this isn't a kid who played at South Lake Carroll. This isn't a kid who played at IMG. This is a kid who played for Michigan high school football. Like, the difference between what he played against and what's coming, it's apples and avocados. There's nothing he's done has prepared him if he starts week one.
And when I say factor into it, they factored into it last year because they beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a team that just win the game if you're Ohio State. And I think they've only thought about that since 4 years ago.
Reese, I think what you just said is where they factor into it, because I don't think they're winning it. And I don't think they're going to be close.
But I think if they get the quarterback thing right, like if he is the prince that's promised.
All right, here's Pryor. This was Pryor, and there's a lot of similarities between Pryor and Underwood in terms of Pryor had way more hype. But in terms of being thrust into it, now Pryor had to unseat a former first-team All-Big Ten quarterback in Beckman to inevitably get the job, but all it took was them really not having a run game out at USC, and then didn't have much chance but to go to Terrell, or much choice rather. At least that's the way Tress kind of framed it. Terrell Pryor's freshman year at Ohio State, 13 games played. He completed 60% of his passes, 1,311 yards, 12 touchdowns, 4 picks. That's through the air, what he did. On the ground, he ran for another 631, 48 yards per game, had 6 touchdowns on the ground, 4.5 a carry. So he's probably the most similar in terms of, because Terrell played Pennsylvania high school football, right? I mean, he wasn't going from, there are some of those places like where Julian Sand went to high school, Southern California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, Ohio at the highest level even, right? When you think about Division I or like some of those Hoban teams, some of these teams here locally that have been able to make a run and go win a Division I state championship, there's a preparedness when you think about the competition you're playing. It'd be silly for me to speak entirely and absolutely about the quality of Michigan high school football. All I know is just the amount of recruits that come out of there, or rather don't come out of there, lead me to believe that it's probably not the best, probably similar to Pennsylvania in a lot of ways. So a massive curve is going to have to be learned very quickly for him. And if you bring it back to the Ohio State situation, you think about Lincoln Kienholz coming from South Dakota high school football. And we know the supreme athlete he is. But you think about him coming from South Dakota high school football and not enrolling early, and we praised him for that here on the show, but it's going to take a minute. It seems like he's ready to go now. But it took a couple of years to get up to speed. You will recall that even last year in spring and last year around this time, when we saw Julian Sayin throw the ball around, you went, well, he looks pretty dang good. Like, it didn't seem too big for him as a kid who was a true freshman. It didn't. And probably some of that is where he played and how it prepared him for this spot. Well, now he's had another whole year. So we'll commence that journey this week. That's the game you end the season with. You're going to begin it in 33 days with Texas. It's hard for me. The more and more I think about this game, and we can have more on this on the other side of this quick timeout as we get rolling here, it's hard for me to imagine this game being anything other than a bit of a slugfest. If you just go look at everyone Texas has to replace, you think about who Ohio State is having to replace, you think about Texas's front, I think yards are going to be hard to come by. That could be a bit of a slugfest football game that we see here in 33 days. And the two teams that we see in December are going to look very different than the ones we're going to see here in 33 days.
That's why I kind of like the under.
What is
in
it?
that Texas-Ohio State game? I believe it's 50.5. At least it was last week at one point. So, yeah, I kind of like that under in that game because even though Ohio State replaces so much on defense, both of these defenses are supremely talented. And say what you will, but this is both of these guys really first time, whoever it is at Ohio State and Arch, it's the first time it's their job.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely, yes. I was trying to see if we have one. 49.5 Bake. It's already down a little.
So it
on
dropped
ESPN
one.
Bet. So it dropped a point already. Yeah. All right, there you go. But this is all happening for real, kids, and it all starts for us, at least on Thursday, with that practice and our ability to see that team play. We'll take a look at the sports this weekend. Big news out of Browns camp coming up at 9:30. We're off and running on a Monday edition, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
The Dublin Irish Festival, August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food, and fun. Get your tickets at DublinIrishFestival.org.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station or buy online. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
It's the summer event at Germain Honda of Dublin, and Rich has unbeatable offers. Lease a sleek 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $329 a month, or finance it with 3.99% APR. Or upgrade to Adventure with a 25 Honda Pilot Sport all-wheel drive. Leases starting at $429 per month or 4.49% APR. Drive into summer with style, comfort, and confidence. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for details.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See, we didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. Now, I'm not Bryson, a mad scientist, but that sounds good. It's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards every swing. But from personal experience, lose 75 pounds like me, and it's next level distance. Way better consistency, energy, and mood, especially on the back nine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180 degree weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Colin, Man, and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Timmy?
Yeah, we got a lot of fun things going on this month, like karaoke.
And crab legs.
No, not yet. Live bands. We've got food trucks in the outdoor valet area.
Crab legs.
Oh, not yet. On select weekend days throughout the summer. Okay, now crab legs.
And all you can eat crab legs at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Join Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on us. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, crab legs.
Oh, yeah, we love crab legs.
Time for crab legs?
Okay, crab legs.
Other stations in town have started using AI voices. It's because they're cheap and they think you're stupid. Well, we may think you're stupid, but we don't think you're cheap, damn it. We're live and local with real people. The Fan, Ohio's real human destination.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself, or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See? We didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Summer is in full swing. If you think you're hot, well, so are your trees. You can help your trees by watering them, especially if they're newly planted. During the hot, dry summer months, your trees could use a water boost. Watering new trees a few times a week will help them survive while they're developing their root system, so don't forget about them. To find out more about watering trees or to find a certified arborist near you, go to treesforohio.org. That's trees, the number 4, ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're tracking partly cloudy skies, but also the chance for a few scattered showers and storms here for the afternoon. Not as widespread as what we had over the weekend, but still a chance here for today. Otherwise, it will be hot and humid with highs around 90, and then we got lower 90s here for Tuesday and Wednesday, but another chance for showers and storms as a cold front arrives here on Wednesday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
The two most mature people working at the radio station. And that's just because they wear pants.
Pervert and the skivvies.
Rockman and Ice.
Weekdays at noon.
The Fan. Keep your friends close and your producers closer. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Before the show, I was Bootsy, because they're into, the boys are kind of into this now, this 20 most interesting things. If you have children, as they grow older, there's a couple of things that they really love. They love a list and they love a bracket. So if you give them a list or a bracket, they're for it. So one of the things that we've been doing at dinner over the course of the last couple of weeks is we'll do like a lot like what we're doing with 20 most interesting. We'll do like, all right, favorite uniform in the SEC, least favorite uniform in the SEC. If you had to go to school in the SEC, where would you go? Where wouldn't you go? And then we go through all the conferences and do it that way. When we get to the Big Ten, they will answer nothing, especially Beamsy. Like, he hates everybody else in the Big Ten with a fury unlike anything you've ever seen. Like, he won't even say names, can't even acknowledge, like, Oregon or the fact that they've come along in the last 20 years or the uniforms, none of it. Just F, F, F on everything. So this morning, they said, well, what are you doing 20 most interesting today? And I said, well, we're doing Michigan. And they both just looked at me like blank-faced. And Bootsy goes, well, that's a pretty bad job. And I said, well, I go, dude, they are. I mean, they're the rival. Like, it's the greatest rivalry in all of sport. Like, they've won the last 4. Like, yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, even if you don't like it. And he goes, well, you're going to lose listeners. Who wants to hear anybody talk about that?
Maybe
it could be.
It's not. He's
like
not
a
wrong.
loss leader.
Yeah,
it's like a loss leader, right, Reese? Like, we know we're going to lose money on it, but it's the right thing to do.
And they are interesting, so we've got to give them the due today. And then they can go to hell the rest of the season, because looking at their schedule, there aren't going to be a whole lot of times that we actually do have to discuss them, because the schedule for the Wolverines is pretty irrelevant.
Yeah, it is.
So up until, November 29th? And then we'll make fun of, the school, obviously, for allowing their head coach to choose games that he can be suspended in, games of little consequence, locally, nationally.
Yeah.
But that's it.
I mean, blame the conference and the NCAA for letting them be able to choose and do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we know why that's happening. Hey, you know who never lost to him? Threes. Never lost. And I'm looking at him. So he sends me the image before this happens of, like, him and the girls at the crew game. And I'm like, all right, what's going on? And then I find out he's match igniter, and he put on a show. So not only does Threes put on a show, and Reese, you remember this well, both Sansa and Aria in the mix, and they were kind of ready to go and put on a show. And by the way, the crew did not get it done. They lost Orlando City 3-1. So his motivational tactics hopefully are better on the football field than they are on the soccer pitch. As it was not necessarily, wasn't his fault. He looked great, and the fan looked great too.
James.
Yeah, it was on them.
That's the letdown there, right?
Yeah. Hey, where do you guys stand on as you look at kind of the sports over the weekend? You had the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Was Tom Hamilton? What was he to you? You guys, well, you're a Reds fan, Bake, but Reese, you're a Tribe fan. What is Tom Hamilton to you?
He is an audio indicator of warm weather. I mean, he's one of the greatest of all time. Tom Hamilton's synonymous with baseball for me. I remember games that I've gone to where you'll sneak a radio in and listen to his call while you're watching.
Yeah.
You'll almost always pick his broadcast over anybody else on television. I mean, there's nobody you'd rather hear call Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Guardians baseball. He's the soundtrack for a World Series run that you'll never forget. He's been the soundtrack for that club since I can remember. Like, you don't know Cleveland Indians, Cleveland Guardians baseball without Tom Hamilton.
So, Bo, I fell in love with Tom Hamilton at an early age because way back when I was young, Tom Hamilton and Bill Hoskett were the basketball duo on TV for Ohio State. So Raycon back then.
I didn't know that.
Raycon back then would do the basketball games, and they would always be on Channel 10. And this was before there was a Big Ten network. And Hamilton and Hoskett were the duo on TV for Buckeye basketball for my youth. And then when the Big Ten network came around, if you remember, Hamilton and Hoskett stayed on for like a year calling basketball games, but they couldn't do just Ohio State games. There would be other games they would be on, and both of them decided not to do that anymore at that time after a year or two of the Big Ten network. But Hamilton is like the voice in my head for Ohio State basketball all those years ago.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was unaware of that. I didn't live here at that time, so I was unaware that he was, the television basketball voice of the Buckeyes. I do think that he's probably, and we saw Marty a few years ago with Cincinnati, and Marty was the Cincinnati Reds soundtrack for most people's lives.
Yeah.
You've been around. It was Marty. I do wonder if there will ever be, if that connection between voice and team, that we probably got the back end of it, right? Because before it was, this was the soundtrack of summer. Like for me as a kid, I've told the story many times. We had rookie baseball, Great Falls Dodgers. When they didn't play, we would get Vin Scully and the LA Dodgers on the radio. And so that's how I became a Dodgers fan, is I would listen to them on the farm. It was something that was kind of playing as I was, doing work or the evenings or whatever. So we got because it was short season. I think they only played 60 games in the summer in rookie ball at that time. So you had Vin Scully the rest of the time. And I couldn't tell you who's doing that job with the Dodgers now. And I wonder when these guys start to retire, because radio isn't, in terms of the play-by-play version of it, like my kids aren't listening to it. Has that era, are they kind of the end of that era?
I think so, because now I do think with, a lot of teams trying to save money, I think you'll see a deviation to just doing one broadcast and putting that broadcast both television, on radio, and digitally.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, too.
I think that's where it goes. So I think we're kind of at the tail end of it. And I just wonder how appealing is play-by-play for broadcasters to get into, or for anybody looking for a profession to get into play-by-play on the radio.
So, Bo, I thought this was the case, but I just wanted to look it up and make sure. Charlie Steiner is the voice of the Dodgers on radio now. I thought that's who it was. That's a sad day for me, Bo, that And we're getting there. And listen, there's a lot of professional teams that don't even have a radio call anymore. They have a simulcast TV call and radio, which is just such a damn shame to me. But I remember, I've told this story before, back in 2011, like 2011 through 2013. Yeah. I would drive a lot to Cleveland, Cincinnati once a week, sometimes both once a week for some high school games. And one of my favorite things on the weekend would be driving home from Cleveland or Cincinnati and just flipping around on the AM radio because you could get games from New York, from Georgia. I remember listening to an LSU game. And I've always loved just listening to games on the radio. And you think of guys like Ernie Harwell. You mentioned Vin Scully. Marty Brenneman, and just all of these guys that did it for so long. And there's not, you know, I think like at Ohio State, you're always going to have a radio call of football. Yeah. And I'm guessing the guy that gets the job when Keels, that sad day Keels decides to hang him up, I'm guessing he'll be here for a long time because there's not too many bigger than Ohio State, I don't think. And you're not there. You know, if you get this job, this radio job, you're going to want to be here for a while. But yeah, I don't know if you're going to have the 30 and 40 year runs like you used to.
Yeah, I think that's just in general. I think of that on the TV side of stuff too. Like when Jim Nantz hangs it up at CBS, there will never be anybody that does it for 50 years. Like you don't get that job at 22 and then keep it to 70. I mean, those things are just going to become a little bit extinct for us. I still think that one of the most beautiful things that I enjoy on a summer night, a fall night, when I go to pick up my kids, I will seek out baseball play-by-play. I don't watch it like I used to. Don't follow it like I used to. But I will still seek it out. There's a warm blanket to hearing somebody call baseball as I'm driving around in the summer and early fall. Even in the spring, to Reese's point, it's like, oh, it's going to get warm now. There is a warm blanket to it. Go ahead, Reese.
Well, good news for you. You can hear the Reds and the Dodgers right here on the Fan tonight following the Buckeye show.
And you're killing it right now, Bake.
110 of the last 14. Swept those pesky Rays.
Yeah. Well, now you get the big boys, so we'll see how all of this goes. This was a pretty stunning development up in Cleveland over the weekend with their quarterback competition. Both the injury that was suffered, what it means, and probably what was already going to be some adjustment, now perhaps another adjustment will be made. We'll explain it all in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Whether it's water heater trouble, clogged or leaky pipes, or sub pump worries, Logan Services has you covered. With service calls for just $79. We're fast, friendly, and here to help you with your plumbing projects. Logan Services.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Monday edition. Over the weekend, Kenny Pickett suffering a hamstring injury during practice on Saturday as training camp is in full swing up in Berea for your Cleveland Browns. So this is big in a lot of ways. Number one, he's going to miss a little bit of time. So he's going to be down some time. But I had a chance to speak with Kevin Stefanski on Friday, and one of the things that he talked about was those first 4 training camp practices. And then, because I asked him directly, I said, how can you possibly get these guys enough reps to get somebody ready? And he talked about an adjustment was potentially coming after the first 4 practices. Well, that 4th of those practices was Saturday. That's when the injury to Pickett happens. And now they were off Sunday, and they'll be back to work this afternoon. Pickett was getting either 1s or 2s reps consistently, and far and away the most number 1 reps of any of the quarterbacks in camp. And so if he's down some time, and if that's a couple of practices, is it 3, is it 4, then those reps will be dispersed, obviously, amongst the others. Here's what we know about the Browns' approach to Joe Flacco. He doesn't need many reps. Just doesn't. Knows what he's doing, knows the offense. He's the easiest thrower of all of them by 100 miles. I'm convinced if he was 60 years old, he could roll off the couch. Well, hell, he did it for them a couple of years ago when he was sitting on his couch, and then he came in and lit kind of the NFL on fire for a month. So he just is a natural thrower. It just comes out of his hand very naturally. But we know that he doesn't need a ton of reps, so that means that if you are Dylan Gabriel, if you are Shedeur Sanders, right now, because of what happened to Pickett, you can take advantage of a situation. And that is a massive thing. The offense has been pretty clunky, as you'd expect it to be up there going against that defense. They invested heavily in the defense. The defense needs to be like a top 5-6 unit for them to be competitive this year. They've invested that way, and that's quite honestly the way that it ought to be for them. So the offense has been way behind. Those 2 rookies now are going to get a massive opportunity in front of them. Here's Kevin Stefanski on the rookie who's getting the most attention, of course, outward. Inward, it's more Dylan, but outward, it's Shedeur. Here's Kevin Stefanski on how Shedeur looked with the 2s and 3s so far.
Yeah, for those guys specifically, I thought there was some good. Obviously, we need to clean up a lot of things on both sides of the ball. We had too many jumping off sides, flinching on the offensive side, so we have these officials out here. That's probably the main focus of for our guys, especially today. But yeah, I thought those guys, some good and some bad, like most training camp practices.
Offensively, they're trying to find their way. Here is Stefanski on that.
Well, when you go out to practice, everything's competitive. So offensive guys want to have success, defensive guys want to have success. Sometimes it goes back and forth in a practice. It's hard when you're not in pads yet to get a full picture of what that success maybe looks like, but we're not in the mode, while we compete every single day, we're in the mode of teaching and learning right now on both sides of the ball. So I'm pleased with the effort. It's not near as clean as it needs to be on both sides of the ball.
Shedeur had a pretty wide-ranging interview Friday midday. This was before the Pickett injury. He was asked on if he was trying to be the week 1 starter. Here's Shedeur Sanders on that.
I don't think nobody in this organization is here if they're not trying to win. Honestly, I think, they're trying to win who gives out the best water and Gatorades out here. So it's definitely a competition in everything in life. It's so many cameras out here. It's definitely competition with content, obviously, too. So I think everything in life boils down to competition.
He has taken advantage of the reps that he's been given. He did get some second-team reps on Saturday in that availability. He's been consistently behind Gabriel most of the time, but one of the things that's been part of his mindset is maximizing the time when not getting reps and taking full advantage. Here he is on that.
I'll say just have a deeper level of understanding because I know whenever I get my opportunity, I got to maximize it. So that's something you have to change in the mentality standpoint and the mental standpoint is, okay, I just got to think about what I could do to get better, even if I'm not getting reps, and it's no problem.
I think it's a critical injury for Pickett. And it really depends on, we don't know the true severity of it yet, but if he were to miss a week, then he was the front runner. And as of right now, because we haven't seen, what his availability will be like this week, but as of right now, he is the front runner to be the starter week 1 and for that first kind of tranche of the season, first 6 games, something like that, barring injury or barring just falling off a cliff. But one thing I've been consistent with is unless he falls on his face, he will be the starter to start the season up in Cleveland. Now, this injury throws a monkey wrench into that. And if you are Kevin Stefanski, do you pivot to let's go with Flacco to start and let's get the 2 young guys ready? And does Pickett end up, do you think trading block with him if there is injuries around the league and somebody needs a quarterback to come in the mix? I think that this could be a major turning point in the quarterback competition up there if Pickett misses multiple practices. Like if he were to miss this week's worth of practice, that would be a very alarming thing for them. And what does that look like? And what is their reaction to that in terms of the roster? Because you have got to get those other 2 kids ready, both Dylan and Shedeur. You got to get them ready. And Flacco deserves, and every time he's available, he says this, I want more reps. I want more reps. And he does. Everybody wants more reps. But if he is going to be the starter, you have to give him an opportunity to be successful. And in doing that, you've got to let him get some reps and get ready to go, even though he's been through this a million times. So this is a massive development for them in that quarterback competition. And I think every single practice is going to be vital to see who gets reps where and how long Pickett's out.
Yeah, I do think if you're the Cleveland Browns, who begin preseason play next Friday.
Yeah.
I think the Bengals begin preseason play Thursday of next week, and I think the Hall of Fame game is this Thursday.
I'm not ready for that.
No. So I don't think if you're Cleveland and your goal is to win week 1 against the Cincinnati Bengals, you've got to make sure that Flacco's ready for that. Because if the Pickett hamstring injury goes a week before he even starts to practice or he even can perform relatively well, like the last thing you want to do is make that into a more catastrophic hamstring injury, which they're always finicky. I mean, his trade value was you gave Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Eagles for him. So I don't know what he would return for you because Cleveland, my thought was after the Quinshaw news and then after the linebacker news of Jordan Hicks last week, the Browns had maybe an ace in their sleeve with one of these quarterbacks, either Flacco or Pickett, that they could send for depth in that linebacker room that will also not include Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah maybe ever. And you need a running back because Quinshaw's out at least 6 games this upcoming season.
Yeah. I mean,
so that throws that in a complete you throw that in the garbage almost, the plan to go and send one of those quarterbacks for an asset you need at one of those 2 positions. But if the Cleveland Browns trying to win football games, Flacco's the starter. You have to operate that way right now because, like Shedeur, him being asked why he hadn't taken reps with the ones up to this point or up to the point Friday, I thought was an interesting way to create content because he's the 4th-string quarterback. Why would he get reps with the ones?
Tony Grossi asked that question, and I think you nailed it. Tone's been on that beat a long time. Good dude.
I get it.
But at the same time, like he's so far behind.
Yeah.
Like it's not, he hasn't, the reason he hasn't is because he hasn't earned them. I mean, that's why. So, and there's an incredible disconnect between what's actually happening and the way it's being talked about. I did a hit on Mad Dog Sports Radio on Saturday.
With the Mad Dog?
No, God.
He didn't work in Saturdays.
I've done a segment with him. I've done a segment with Mad Dog. When I was doing stuff at 92.3 up in Cleveland, this is about 10 years ago, Andy Roth was a program director at the time. He knew how much I love Mad Dog, and he knew him from his time at WFAN, and he arranged for me to I did a segment with Mad Dog that was a highlight. I mean, just thrill to be able to do it. But anyway, I did it on somebody with him on Saturday, and it was most of the conversation about Shedeur. And every time I came back, this was before the Pickett injury, every time I came back with, I think it's going to be Pickett, Shedeur's behind. It was almost like it fell on deaf ears. Like we're just right back to Shedeur. And I'm like, I get it. There's a touchstone to it. Think about this from the Browns' perspective. A month ago, if you were to say, what is your operation going to look like in September? You would have said, I would have told you, and it would have been their thinking, Kenny Pickett's going to start. You're going to rely on Quinshon Judkins and a power run game and play action off of it. Now where are we? A week later. Who knows when or if on Judkins? Who knows? No updates on that. Haven't heard anything on that. He's working on his legal matters. That's it. So he's, to your point, Reese, at the very least feels like at least what you said, 6 games. Who knows? And now this injury to Pickett, what you intended to be in the very simplest of terms. And this isn't like the 84 Dolphins with Marino and the 2 marks. Like, it wasn't going to be that offensively anyway. But your kind of path for success was power run game, play action off of it, unlocking Pickett in a play action game where it's turn your head, flip it here, he's open, throw it there, throw it to Judy, throw it to Fannin, throw it to Chief. Now, this was not in the brochure. So their whole plan could get changed a lot. I think this will be a very fascinating practice for them. Today, tomorrow, what does that look like? Who has impressed in a week, and how do they adjust for this? How long Pickett is out could be a massive development for them early on this season. Massive development for the Bengals. We will get to that coming up at 10:20. Coming up next, no warning. I just decided to have a little experiment with the boys, the 2 olders, last night. I'll let you know how it went coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way, if Baths R Us a ring, call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Jerry, I've made a decision.
Aaron, are you giving away free services again?
Well, yeah. How did you know?
I haven't been able to quit thinking about your AC piggy bank.
Get Eco.
ECO. We work to extend the life of their old air conditioner and then give back all the money we were paid to do it.
Up to $1,500.
When they need to buy a new system.
Jerry, I'm getting ready to do something like that again.
Get Eco.
ECO.
When we replace a water heater, I'm instructing all the Eco plumbers to give our customers up to $500 in free repairs before they leave the house.
$500 in free services that same day?
There's lots and lots and lots of things our plumbers can do for $500 or less.
And Eco is going to do these things for free when people buy a water heater?
Yeah, whatever they want for free.
That same day?
Same day.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and gonna make you cool again, HVAC technicians.
Go to geteco.com.
Save big on everything for your next project when you shop at Menards. Give your home a fresh, updated look with Pittsburgh's exterior paint. Ultra is a paint and primer in one that provides excellent height and coverage, and it can be tinted to create thousands of color options. View our entire selection of Pittsburgh's exterior paint today on Menards.com. Plus, view our weekly flyer and check out all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Common Man here. I want to talk to you about my buddy Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. It's rare that a business comes along and offers you such great quality, service, price. If you or someone you love or like, or even strangers on the street tell you they need a jeweler, tell them you got a guy, and that guy is Bob Capace at Worthington Jewelers.
I'm Bob Capace, and I'm your guy.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com, where Columbus gets engaged.
Join Timmy Hall for Buckeye Replay Saturday at 1. Classic games of Ohio State football history.
Sponsored by Weber Grills.
This week, Ohio State and Tennessee. Playoff action in the shoe. The Fan. The Fan.
At Progressive, we understand the bond you have with your boat. It's why people name theirs.
I named my boat Sure Don't. Get it? The other day when my friend said, "Hey, Larry, you want to head back in? It looks like it might rain." I said, "Sure don't." I guess they didn't get it because they didn't laugh.
Whatever you call your boat, protect it by insuring it with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 rating based on boat market share data from refilings.com.
Whether you're building a single roof or a successful roofing business, roofing contractors like you need the right tools for the job, and software is no exception. Service Titan is on a mission to be the most powerful software platform for the trades, with purpose-built technology proven to maximize revenue, streamline operations, and deliver 5-star customer experiences. We are taking roofing companies like yours to the next level and beyond. Service Titan. We are built for this. See what we can do for roofers at servicetitan.com.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Right Way Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, so last night, I knew it was on. I hadn't thought about it in 15 years, probably, but it's been making the rounds, and I've seen it on the guide, and I remember thinking that, it was quite honestly a phenomenon when it dropped. It kind of came out, well, didn't kind of come out of nowhere, absolutely came out of nowhere, and I was curious if it would hold up for the two oldest, 13-year-old NBC and 11-year-old Beamsy, and so we got it pretty much right when it started. And the film was Napoleon Dynamite. Now, what is your guys' relationship with this film?
Saw it in theaters, had it on DVD growing up. It had a run, and now I hate it. I remember it was a film that I loved to watch when I was younger, and it does not hold up.
So I feel like it's a film that had a couple moments, like throw football over those mountains and
we still quote it.
Vote for Pedro and all that. I feel like there are a couple like really classic good moments in there. Make yourself a damn quesadilla. But
Uncle Rico's the only redeeming character.
I don't know. The llama's pretty good. Tina Food.
Yeah.
You dumb lard. That's all pretty good.
For the most part,
actually,
though,
Summer's boyfriend is pretty unbelievable. The guy who dresses in the all white with the fade. That guy's pretty. His facial reactions alone. All right, so what made me think about it was, it probably was I was trying to think. It's one of the examples of something that went viral before there was a such thing as going viral. There was no internet. There was no social. There was internet, but there wasn't a social media. And it was one of those things that you just heard about or read about it becoming kind of a phenomenon, and then you sought it out. I remember going to see it in a theater in Tallahassee, and there were like 4 of us in there. And the only reason that I knew about it was at that time I was still getting Esquire magazine, and they had like a write-up about it, how this movie kind of came out of nowhere and was kind of a critical darling and had some funny moments in it. So that's what led me to it. But then it became something that you saw. Then it became something that you saw everywhere. Everybody wore those shirts. It stayed in theaters forever. And then to Reese's point, it was one of those ones that you a lot of people had on DVD. Like you would have the DVD of it. So I was curious if the boys would like it. They loved it. They just loved it. They just thought it was amazing. They really did. It held up, I thought. Now, I haven't thought about it in 15 years, maybe 20. And it's a little slower than I remember. But it's still kind of had and perhaps it's because I've only seen it maybe 3 or 4 times in my life. I remember bringing it home on DVD and making my dad watch it. And that was something I wish I had recorded, because that was, needless to say, it wasn't for him.
He was probably a big Rex Kwon Do guy.
A lot of similarities to Rex Kwon Do. So they loved it. Both the 2 older boys loved it. Here's the other thing about it. It's really pretty harmless in terms of age appropriate. Like, there was nothing I had to worry about fast forwarding through. Like you could kind of just watch it straight through and all of it held up. And they loved it. And all of the things still hit the way that they thought they did. So there's some faith in humanity if you're looking for that. Here's file this under kids being idiots. So they all want to do fantasy football right now. NBC goes, this was like last night at like 8:20. He goes, Dad, who should I pick at number 10? I said, well, buddy, don't worry about it. Like, he goes, I got the 10th pick. So he's got the snake. And I said, he goes, who should I pick at number 10? I said, well, don't worry about it. Like, you're not going to draft for another 3 or 4 weeks. Like, let's see what injuries happen, what rookies are going to start. Like, you got a lot of time. He's like, no, I'm drafting in 8 minutes. I'm like, who's running your league?
That's ambitious.
That's drafting a fantasy team on July 27th.
Before the Hall of Fame game even.
What are we doing?
Wait till August.
So I go, well, why don't you just tell, and this is when my wife comes at me a little bit. I said, why don't you just tell the guy, like, nobody does that. Like, you tell your buddy, like, to just do this draft in 3 weeks. Like, don't do it now. This is ridiculous. So then my wife's like, oh, just let them be. They're just kids. Okay, fine. So he does the draft, and he's like, in the first few rounds, it's fine because I think he ended up with Derrick Henry and Puka Nacua or something, and they're kind of in that ranked kind of in that realm in his 10 and 11 pick. But then he started to be all like, well, who should I? You get like the 7th or 8th rounds, and I'm like, I have no idea if Amarian Hampton's going to be the feature back for the Los Angeles Chargers. I have no idea what's going to happen in some of these picks. So I started to just tell him, like, when he got late, like, just take lottery picks. Like, take Travis Hunter. Maybe he blows up. Who knows? Like, you're so far out. To me, I'm surprised that they even allow you to draft at this time. I mean, shouldn't it at least be August before the Yahoo system allows you to draft a fantasy team? I can't even ever remember drafting. I don't want to draft a fantasy team until Labor Day weekend. That's when I want to draft a fantasy football team. None before. None in August, unless it falls that way. Give me Labor Day weekend. If you are in a league that drafts before Labor Day weekend, your man court, lose your man card, all of it. You're out. That is not a serious league.
Yeah, it used to be a thing for me when people would ask, "Do you want to join my fantasy?" Like I used to be the guy that was in like 8 of them, and if it was ever like a July or early August draft, I'm not. Or I'll auto draft, but you're not getting anything from me.
How many are you guys in now?
0.
Oh, that's right.
I did a complete 180.
I still do one with all my buddies that we've done for years, but that's pretty much it for me.
Me too. I'm a 1. I got one that I do. I will put a second one together for family if they want me to, but I don't take that one very seriously. The one that I do, we've been doing since 2001. Same group of guys since 2001. All met in Florida. We're all dispersed. One of them lives in Switzerland now. Like, it's crazy. But it's the same group of guys for almost 25 seasons now that we've done the same group, and it's awesome. We increase the buy-in every year, so it's one of those ones that if it's my wife, I won it a couple of years ago, and so that means I don't have to worry about being asked what is this money going for a while. But it's a bit of a hit when you have to write the check for it, or I guess you just send the money for it. But we'll do that Labor Day weekend, so it's still fun. But I just couldn't believe it. Who the hell does that on July 27th? We'll blitz the weekend coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
The savings are on at Coughlin Ford. Lease a new 25 Ford Escape or Bronco Sport. Just $399 a month with 0 down. New 25 F-150 or Lightning Flash. Only $499 a month with 0 down. At all 4 Coughlin Ford locations, including our newest in Marysville. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
48-month lease or factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. 7,500 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. Excludes $250 dock fee, $395 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 9/2/25.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate you snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your significant other will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, it stops your snoring. That's the point. It's quick, it's comfortable, and it's an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea. And he's helped countless patients breathe easier, sleep better, and live healthier, more energized lives. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Schedule your appointment now with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. Once again, that's sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of my favorite things, Wilson, is the look on people's faces when they see the end price for Pella windows.
Yeah, I'm always hearing, does it look like I'm wearing my money britches?
More like, I can't believe we get the Pella look and quality at these prices.
Oh, you went the other way with that. You're hearing good things. Oh, this is awkward.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York. You've probably heard of speed dating, but what if there was something similar for hiring, especially if you're running a growing business? There is Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You can post your job today and talk to interested qualified candidates tomorrow. Simply select a time, and Zip Intro finds and schedules qualified candidates for you. Then you can choose who you'd like to connect with and meet and greet people through back-to-back video calls starting as soon as the next day. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The NFL preseason begins this week with the Hall of Fame game in Canton. The Chargers play the Lions Thursday night at 8 p.m. It's day 5 of training camp for the Bengals and the Browns. Day 2 for rookie Shamar Stewart in Cincinnati. The two sides came to an agreement over the weekend on a fully guaranteed 4-year deal worth $18.9 million. NFL sack leader Trey Hendrickson is still a camp holdout as he enters the final year of his contract with the Bengals. In college football, Ohio State begins fall camp on Thursday. We'll be live from the Woody Hayes Athletic Center opener Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. In baseball, the trade deadline is Thursday at 6 p.m. Reds enter the week on a 4-game win streak. Cincinnati beat Tampa Bay 4-1 on Sunday. Redlegs enter the week 1 game out of an NL wildcard spot. They'll host the LA Dodgers tonight at 7:10. We'll have Reds baseball following the Buckeye show and breaking sports news when it happens. All on the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The perfect show for quarter zips and khaki shorts. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
It's an hour earlier than normal to make way for 20 most interesting, but time to blitz that weekend nevertheless.
Bishop and Friends present the Weekend Sports Blitz.
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 3 restaurant locations: Grandview, Gahanna, and now in Westerville. Drink local. Drink High Bank.
I believe I had that. What did you have, Bake?
I believe I had that I would feel the best I've felt on this Monday since I was 18 years old, because the big alumni softball tournament was this weekend, and I did not participate in the playing, and I got to be honest with you, it didn't hurt at all waking up for work this morning.
Come on.
Usually
were you there?
doesn't
Did you watch them play?
So I was out there on Saturday, and I did watch them play, and I got to be honest, it was easier than I thought it would be until I saw a guy like drop a fly ball in the outfield, and then I was like, come on, that's ridiculous. You got to be better than that.
Did you bring your glove?
Nope. I purposely left my stuff in my garage because I knew they would try to talk me into it and they might win, and then I wouldn't feel great like I do today. So,
did anybody suffer an injury where you're like, wow, I'm glad that's not me?
I did not see any injuries, thankfully. So,
I don't understand what type of softball you're playing that's this strenuous. Like, can't you just play first base and not run?
Listen, Bo.
That's probably the most coveted position.
Yeah, when you're you're my age, if you can run it all, they're like getting the outfield.
That's true.
Everybody wants to play first base or catcher.
Yeah, I think there's a man of your stature at this point in your life. If you want it, you ought to be able to play catcher or first base and still keep playing. Damn it!
Do you get, like, if you're the alumni catcher, do you get a chair? Like just a really low chair to the ground?
I'm sure somebody's
trying to frame pitches at that point.
No.
You're not framing pitches in softball anyway.
I believe I had that Shamar and Trey are going to play for the Bengals week 1. Cincinnati got the deal done with Stewart over the weekend. Trey's going to be a camp holdout, but on September 7th, when they're in Cincinnati, they'll have both of those guys available for them on the defensive front.
I believe I've had that that baseball is a little lost, and I think they've been lost for a while. I think Manfred's trying. Hits on some, misses on some, but there's just some simple fixes. So they did their Hall of Fame weekend this past weekend. We mentioned Tom Hamilton going in on the radio side of things. Ichiro went in, CC Sabathia. By the way, Reese, what do you make of him in a Yankees cap versus an Indians cap? Is that appropriate?
Yeah, I was fine with it.
Okay. Probably seemed like the right one. Why don't they do the Hall of Fame weekend leading into the All-Star game? Why wouldn't they do it then? Why don't you do it? So the All-Star game's Tuesday. The whole league's off Monday. Why don't you do it Sunday into Monday and own that weekend? I mean, that just seems like a layup. And I know they've done it this time forever, but it does get kind of lost because there's baseball being played everywhere else. Like, baseball doesn't play that Monday before the All-Star game on that Tuesday. Why don't you just play it? Do the Hall of Fame on Sunday, Sunday night when all the baseball is done, and then you have Monday kind of off. Maybe that's a better chance. Who knows? Or you could do it on that Monday too. It's the summer.
It gets totally lost.
Yeah, it does. It just seems like that would be an easy one to just do it the Monday leading into the All-Star game on Tuesday to do the induction, and you'd kind of own it. All right, what didn't you have, Bake?
I did not have that the Bengals would get Shamar Stewart signed this early. I thought just the way Shamar Stewart's camp was playing this and the way the Bengals are, I thought this was going to go into the preseason and maybe into the regular season. I just thought that both of these two were going to be so bullish that this wasn't going to get done. But good job for both of them that they got it done. And Shamar Stewart's there now getting valuable reps that he really needs, especially if this Trey Hendrickson thing drags on.
I didn't have that the NFL's Hall of Fame game is Thursday. You can hear it on the Fan. Yeah. Chargers and Lions from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton. I'm not ready for this.
My brother-in-law at his daughter, my niece's birthday yesterday, said, so Hall of Fame game Thursday. And I said, no, it's next week. He's like, no, I think it's this week. I'm like, no. It's always at first weekend in August. Oh, it's Thursday. And I didn't have it either. I really didn't. Here's what else I didn't have. Typically, so we usually play 2-on-2. We played 8 games 2-on-2 hoops. Me and Bootsy versus the two bigs, and it's usually pretty even competition. And then afterwards, one of the two bigs always hounds me to play them 1-on-1. And what do you have to gain when you're me playing 1-on-1 with your son? Nothing is the answer. You have nothing to gain and everything to lose. If you lose, it's over, and you can't let them win at this age. Certainly not. And then I think the ideal thing is to quit before they start winning. And you want to hit that sweet spot and don't let them. So normally I can just shoot threes and it's good enough. I mean, you played at 21, 2s and 3s, you hit 7 threes and you're fine over the course of the time. You play a little bit of defense when you have to. For some reason, I forgot how to shoot a jump shot. And Beamsy was up 15-6. And God, he's got a lot of energy. He's like a damn jackrabbit. He's bouncing around everywhere. I'm like, God, I can't defend all this. I'm tired, and I already played games with them. I've just smoked. It was hot. So I told him, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry I have to do this. And I went old man game. I just backed him down.
You have to. It's got to get physical. Yeah.
Sucked. So I did not have it. It's a bad job out of me, but the jump shot wasn't falling, and I'll be damned if I'm going to lose to an 11-year-old. Player who impressed, Bake.
For me, it's Bubba Wallace, and maybe more importantly, his crew chief, Charles Danique. Bubba Wallace gets the win at the Brickyard 400 over the weekend, which I didn't even realize that the Brickyard 400 was this weekend, and I don't think anybody realized it because
you know how big of a deal that used to be?
Yeah, it was huge, and there was nobody in the stands, Bo. It was insane how empty the grandstands at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway were. But Bubba Wallace snaps a 100-race winless streak and gets the win. And more importantly, his crew chief made the call, hey, we're in overtime. I think we've got enough gas. Let's stay out there. And they stayed out there and got the win on the restart when it sounded like they were probably running on fumes there at the end. So good job out of them.
I wonder what happened to that. How that became something nobody goes to.
I flipped it on, and I was like, there's no way this is real, that there's this many empty seats.
Yeah.
Did I also read that he was the first black driver to win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Mm-hmm.
That's an incredible job out of him. Player who impressed for me was Hafthor Bjornsson. He's the mountain from Game of Thrones. He deadlifted 1,100 pounds on Saturday. That 505 kilos is a world record.
I feel like you have done, since Game of Thrones, you keep track of him and what he's up to. About every 6 months, you'll get me a little
you get a mountain update.
A little mountain update.
Update from the mountain.
Mountain bureau chief.
But 1,100 pounds?
It's a lot of weight. But to me, it feels like something appropriate for him.
Looked easy for him.
Yeah. I think Shedeur Sanders had a really good first week of camp. I think he's thrown it well. I think he's handled a lot being thrown his way very, very well. Dylan Gabriel, too. Both of them have handled. And it takes both because Shedeur is the one that everybody asked for. And so Dylan is in kind of the shadows a lot, even though he's being asked to do a lot more. And even though he's ahead of him on the depth chart, all of those things. But I think both those guys have been really impressive. I think they had a good week. I think Shedeur had a really good week, both on the field and off last week up at Berea. Player who disappointed.
To me, it was the weather this weekend with the storms, and we got some downpours in Central Ohio. I mentioned being out at the alumni tournament, and you saw it coming, but shame on me for not getting out of there sooner. I got soaked walking to my car, getting out of there Saturday night. The links at Groveport, the golf course, some people working out there, and then some guys playing got stranded because their cars got flooded in the parking lot and they couldn't get out. They were stranded there Saturday night. I saw some roads in the Lancaster area got washed out and some sinkholes in the roads. So the weather wreaked some havoc this weekend in Central Ohio.
Yeah, I'll go right here because I'm piggybacking off of it. So on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, they closed our club, and I was talking to the general manager, and he said this is the 6th weekend day this summer that they've lost to rain. 6. He goes, we've never lost 6. And they've lost 6 already in the last 2 months. Just had to close the course, just underwater. And yesterday when we played, it was cart path only, which that changes things quite a bit. But no, we have to be so far above normal. It's got to be like we've lapped the field on rain. It shouldn't be like this in July.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off your piggybacking because the weather canceled a Shane Bieber rehab appearance for the Columbus Clippers yesterday at Huntington Park.
Man.
Stinks.
It's awful. And it's been all summer. It was last weekend, too. I was driving home from Cincinnati in the rain on Sunday afternoon. It's every weekend. Kilmer, go ahead, Bake.
To me, it's Tito. Terry Francona. He's got the Reds playing good at maybe the most important time of the season here because the trade deadline is Thursday. If the Reds would have lost 10 of 14, maybe they're not going to be buyers. Well, they've won 10 of 14 right now. They are playing pretty well. Their starting pitching has been phenomenal here recently, and it looks like they're going to try to add an impact right-handed bat and try to add a little bit to this bullpen. They're one game out of a wild card spot right now. Looks like the Reds are going to make a run at this thing.
Yeah, it's Tito for me, too.
They did this?
Well, they made the playoffs in the 2020 COVID season, but the last time in a real full season the Reds were in the postseason was 2013.
Yeah.
Be buyers at the deadline. Make a run, damn it. Because I know the Guardians won't. So can one Ohio team, please?
And you went.
I had Tito as well. Yeah.
I think it's a clean sweep. There's a calming influence to him that is pretty undefeated. And he knows that he's a people person, and players love him and they respond to him. Yeah, this has been fun. I hope it keeps up for the Redlegs as they keep this thing interesting in August and into September. We'll go around the National Football League coming up next, including the big signing down in Cincinnati. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Need help with budgeting, debt, or savings goals? CME's certified financial counselors are here for you. Free, confidential, and ready to guide you with real-life solutions. Let's tackle your goals together. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit CMEFCU.org for additional details.
Parents, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're listening.
Yeah. Are your teens good with money?
She's a good kid.
She's the
but
best,
yeah.
but I get it. Switch to Huntington Bank, and your teen debit card can really help.
Oh?
You can set spending limits, and your kid can track budgets, so they learn that money doesn't, in fact, grow on trees.
I think we need this.
Sounds good, yeah. We feel you, parents. Let's get more from teen banking. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. That's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards on every swing. But from experience, lose 75 pounds like I did, and now we're talking next level distance, consistency, and even mood, especially on the back nine. And actually, every pound you drop takes 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. So I lost 300 pounds of pressure off of mine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Get cash for clunkers during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
Looking to launch a career in the skilled trades but don't know where to begin? Part-time service in the Ohio Army National Guard can help. You can kickstart your career by enlisting in one of our many trades-based jobs. Get paid to learn these skills and gain on-the-job training when you report to your unit 1 weekend a month or 2 weeks in the summer. To learn how the Guard can pay for your civilian trade certification, visit nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We are rebranding our AM station, ESPN Columbus, partly because we're bored, mostly because it's crap. We have a new lineup picked out and everything, but angry lawyer person said I can't say it yet. It all starts Tuesday, September 2nd.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use law enforcement siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention, like telling you if you get a speeding ticket, it doesn't end there. You have to pay expensive fines. You can't go to your friend's wedding because that also costs money. And your insurance rates could increase. See? We didn't have to use law enforcement sirens after all. Getting a speeding ticket has consequences. Sooner or later, speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We got some sunshine out there, partly cloudy sky here for today, but scattered showers and storms are in the forecast here for this afternoon. Otherwise, it will be hot with a high around 90, feeling like it's in the mid-90s here for the afternoon. More heat and humidity here Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the 90s, but it will feel like it's in the upper 90s to around 100 here for both. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan. They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And we are proudly brought to you and sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. Did you guys just hear that forecast? Mid-90s feeling like upper 90s. When does high school football start? It's got to be this week.
I think August 1st is usually their first practices. I know a lot of them have been doing 7-on-7 stuff all summer as they're allowed to do that now. But yeah, I think August 1st is usually like the first official day.
NBC starts 8th grade football Friday. Is that the first?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the OHSAA says practice begins Friday, August 1st.
Wow.
Game's the 22nd. Be here before we know it.
Yeah, it's going to be here quick. Are you, Vic, you probably are. Reese, you might not be. From the generation of where coaches would withhold water for toughness?
I don't remember if any coaches did that, but you always had like the hose into the PVC pipe. That's how you got your water.
Yeah, we had the trough.
Big trough. We didn't have the humidity. We'd have the heat, but we didn't have. But I do remember that, and I certainly remember like holding out water, like you couldn't drink because if you drank water, you weren't tough. Like that was part of it. We were really dumb. People were really dumb.
Glad we've moved past that.
Thank God. Thank God. Yeah, we always had 2-a-days. Always had like a 6 a.m. and then there was an evening practice. They did try to get it done without the heat. They acted like with that what it was, but typically it had more to do with harvest and making sure that kids could get back on the farm and go work was kind of the way that they did that a lot of times. But yeah, and
as if that wasn't enough to get you ready for football season,
right? Yeah, there was a lot of that. Was the way that worked. But no, hopefully, be smart, man. That temp is high. I don't know if that's going to continue throughout the end of the week, but hydrate.
It sounds like Thursday, Friday, and we're going to have some storms come through on Wednesday and like a cold front. So it sounds like Thursday, Friday is going to be low 80s, upper 70s for the highs. God. So that'll be nice for you guys out there.
Well, that'll be perfect. I got to tell, I told Fish, I said, I don't care if there's lightning that strikes 2 yards away. We're doing the show from Ohio State. Like, we already lost a memorial show, Reese.
Yeah,
we're going to be out there. We'll be like the priest in Caddyshack.
So I'm looking at my phone right now. Thursday, there is a high of 82 and a 50% chance of storms. Friday, 81 and mostly sunny.
So Friday's going to be money.
We'll go Thursday, rain or shine.
Or lightning.
And we'll just do a show, and that'll be that.
That's right. By the way, I should tell you, this Thursday through Saturday, we are live at the Buckeye Fall Camp, hitting the practice fields, exclusive wall-to-wall coverage. Buckeyes kick off the season. Morning Juice, T-Bone and Tyvis, Bishop and Friends, all live, 6 to noon, Thursday and Friday. Listen to The Fan. Watch the show streaming on The Fan's YouTube and 10TV+. It's Fall Camp. It's Ohio State football, and it's only on The Fan. Go Bucks. I thought they would get the Shamar Stewart deal done in Cincinnati. Reese, I know you thought that as well. It did kind of pop out of nowhere, though, for me a little bit. It's like, oh, that's sooner than I thought. I thought it would be something that would maybe be a little bit more protracted. It wasn't. It's done. It's in the books. He's there. He was available. There was a big back and forth in terms of getting the contract done. Here's Shamar Stewart with the Bengals beat.
I just need to be on the field as soon as possible. I need to start learning, start getting better. It's a long season ahead. I need to be ready.
How did it feel to be out there today?
It was great, getting to play the game I love again for the first time since last year, for real. So it was a great feeling.
Did you expect to play that many reps? I think Zach said you had about 10 reps in first team.
It was not much, but it was a good start. I got to get acclimated to the playbook and stuff.
Went through your mind when you were able to put this past you guys came to an agreement. What was that like? Was it a sense of relief, or what went through your mind?
Man, I was happy. It's time for all football, nothing but football now. I don't got to worry about anything else but football, so it's great.
Do you have any regrets about this situation?
Nope. I try to live my life with no regrets.
So interesting final question.
It was.
He got what he wanted.
Yeah, he did. He won, right? I mean,
they gave him a fully guaranteed deal.
Yeah, I mean, so really this was on the Bengals, like them trying to create a precedent with him, and he ended up winning. He had the leverage in this thing. Remember those comments from Duke Tobin about how he was getting bad advice and all of that? Here's Shamar Stewart answering the question on Tobin saying he was getting bad advice.
I mean, in my opinion, I feel like I want an agent that's more of a pit bull. You feel me? I don't want no agent that can be easily pushed over. I want somebody that's going to go to war about me. That's what I hired him for. So I don't got to do none of the hard work behind the scenes. So in terms of that, I feel like Zach is a great agent. He handles his business very well, and that's my dog for life.
I think one of the things that's hard for fans sometimes is when there are public disagreements over contracts, both sides will say things that sometimes cut a little too close to the core, but then once a deal is done, it's kumbaya, and everybody realizes it's a business, and away we go. So I don't think this will have any impact at all. I mean, just think of even the Browns with Miles, like how ugly that you thought that was going to get around the Super Bowl, and then it all comes together. Like you end up getting these things done and you move forward. Everyone's a professional about it. So as early as he's in, guys, this is going to have no impact on his impact this year for the Browns, and they need that to be or for the Bengals rather, and they need that to be significant.
Yeah, both sides needed each other, right? Stewart needed the Bengals desperately needed Stewart, especially at camp. Like that first question was like, did you expect to get as many reps as what was given to you on day one? He's got day 2 today. And it's like, no, but they're going to need him, especially, how long Trey's going to sit out. And he'll probably, again, I think he's back week 1, but you need depth there because you also lost Sam Hubbard in the offseason. He just full on retired. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a need, whatever end of the line you're playing on. Shamar's going to, if they want to be everything that they think they can be, especially with the money that they've given out offensively, they're going to need Shamar to live up to first-round expectations.
You think about from the way they're built, it's critical that they have 4 to 6 plays a game that Stewart and Trey, because I think he'll be back too, impact the game in a positive way for their defense. There's going to be a 3rd and long where they get home, where they have to get home, because they're conceding with what they've done defensively. They're conceding that their defense is going to be a bend and break. Both. So it's going to come, and they're fine with that because they have all of the money spent on offense, and they'll get Trey done. I'm not worried about that, but they spent big first-round pick, get the defensive end in, get Trey in, be impactful on the edges. A couple of plays in a game where you can have a change of direction, a 3rd and 5 where you get home and you get a punt. That's critical because they're going to try to win games 35-31. So if those guys aren't there, then you're going to lose more of those games, and they lost a ton of them last year. So it's going to be critical that they are guys who create havoc around the edge. That's how they're built. And so in a way, they needed him more than he needed them.
I watched the final episode of Quarterback last night, and it's funny that you talk about that because in that game, I think it was the Bengals were playing the Broncos, and it was that game that went to overtime. I believe it was week 17 before the Steelers game the last week, and you see Burrow on the sideline like, go make a play, Trey. Like, He didn't say the defense. It was like, Trey, go get a sack here. Like, we need one stop. Go get it. And that's where the Bengals, they can give up 30 points a game and still win games. That's not ideal, but that offense is so good. But there are going to be a few key moments where they need that defense to step up and make a huge play. And Shamar Stewart is a guy who has all the ability to do that.
Guys, they lost 4 games last year when they scored 33 or more.
It's insane.
They lost 4 times that way. Yeah. Gonna need a couple of plays here and there. Austin Ward spent last week out in Las Vegas. What did he learn? He joins us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle and Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Columbus, the Blue Jackets schedule is out. And you can lock in your seats with ticket plans starting at just 11 games. Don't miss a moment of the action. Visit BlueJackets.com.
He opens his toolbox before he opens his wallet and believes you can fix anything with 20 minutes and some pride. He's Mr. DIY, and when he needs metal, he goes to Metal Supermarkets. Artists, hobbyists, machine shops, maintenance professionals, and welders all count on Metal Supermarkets for over 8,000 metal products, shapes, and grades. If it's metal, they've got it or can get it for you. Cut to any size and ready fast. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Central Ohio contractors and homeowners. Tired of overpriced, low-quality cabinets? Well, it's time to upgrade your cabinet game. 3D Cabinetry is your go-to for fast, hassle-free service and cabinets you can trust from order to install. 3D Cabinetry delivers fully assembled all-wood affordable cabinets. No delays, no stress. Just quality craftsmanship delivered on time every time. Get started with your free consultation today at 3dcabinetry.net. That's 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability and reliability.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
He knows everything about the Buckeyes. He's been offered tens of dollars by a certain team to spill his secrets. He's told that certain team to go to hell.
Damn you all to hell!
He's Austin Ward.
Indeed he is, and he joins on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline, fresh off of a trip out to Las Vegas and on the precipice of Buckeye Camp opening on Thursday. Let's start league-wide, and then we'll get into the Buckeye stuff, buddy. You were out there in Vegas, Big Ten meetings. What did you learn about the Big Ten and Tony Petit, which a lot, because we hardly ever hear from him. What are some of the headlines for you? What resonated with you in terms of Petitti's approach and what he had to say about the league?
Yeah,
pretty incredibly first, Bo. I followed up that trip to Vegas by then going directly on a guy's golfing trip to Michigan. So I'm not sure that you're supposed to stack Sin City and a golf trip back to back. So we got to recharge the batteries before Thursday for the first day of camp. But yeah, certainly thinking back to Tony Petitti kicking it off, I thought it was, I don't know, strange that the leak of his letter to the Committee on Infractions came out on Monday, or at least it was a remarkable coincidence, because then he had to go address that. And you think, I'm not going to talk specifically about some of these coaches. Some of this was, off the record conversation, maybe to get more candid answers. I don't believe that the rest of the league appreciated any defense or any notion that Michigan had already paid enough price for that. The people in this league are by and large appalled by the on-field cheating. This is not about McDonald's bags or NIL. This was about the actual playing of the game, integrity of the game. And I don't think that it's a delicate balance. I mean, Tony Petitti's job as the meat shield for the league in some respects is to passionately defend all 18 programs. And so I understand this tough spot that he was in, but the other 17 don't believe that what they did should have any kind of defense around the league or around the country. So I think there was a little bit of frustration about that part. When you shift away from that, I think there's a notion that the rest of the league is sort of falling in line and accepting the view that he has on number of conference games, what the college football playoff expansion should look like, automatic qualifying standards. And he makes a pretty compelling argument. And, I think I was sitting next to Berm on Tuesday, and he's like, oh, well, yeah, I think that does make a good point for AQ and making the regular season more meaningful in a lot of respects. And I was like, oh, he got you. Huh? It was a nice sales pitch. I think he was compelling. I don't know if that's still the right answer. I don't know if I love that. The only way forward, I still feel like if you're going to go to the AQ spots, is that you need to actually get rid of the non-conference games entirely. I think sometimes they're looking at this and trying to play both sides and have it both ways. If you want an AQ and you have an 18-team league, which he acknowledged at one point, you're making it much more difficult on yourself to determine that champion and the path to those coveted spots if you're still trying to maintain some of the outside stuff. But anyway, I know that people that have listened to me here on Mondays with you or on the Buckeye show in the evenings with Beamer know that I've felt that way for a long time, that you need to have even more conference games than 9. And the Big Ten, I think I would be totally okay with them going to 12. Mm-hmm. Certainly we're not going to get to that point, but I think that some of that posturing that was done on Tuesday was primarily just to get the SEC to 9, and I can't really fault him for that either.
I said this Tuesday, buddy. He does not sound like a commissioner who works with Ohio State's best interests at all. He feels to me like a commissioner who works for his television partners, and that's why he wrote the letter to Michigan, right? Yeah. That's why he wrote the letter, because Fox, NBC, and CBS cannot have Michigan fall off a cliff. They can't. I mean, Ohio State and Michigan carry Big Noon every week. You can't have Michigan irrelevant. You can't have them. So that's why he wrote the letter. I think there's a pretty direct correlation between those two. And the automatic qualifier thing that he harping on, and see all these coaches come out there and say, oh, yeah, we want that. Really? You telling me after the Michigan game, win or lose, you'd want to go play, let's say you're the 3 seed, you want to go play the 6 as a play-in? Like after play, and then play the next week another playoff game? Like this is an NFL model entirely, and there's no way Ryan Day would really want that. There's no chance he would want that after all the high leverage games you play. So, like, to me, he sounded like a guy who represented the middle of the league and the television partners.
Yeah, I do think that you're 100% correct about that, Bo. I think that this is a television executive looking at inventory and finding new ways to exploit the revenue to the maximum potential. And there's a place for that. And if we're just you and I spitballing here, maybe this is a situation because the league has become so large and in a lot of ways unwieldy. Maybe you have 2 commissioners that you need. One who's going to look at your negotiations with Fox and CBS and NBC and exploring revenue. And then you have to have like a rules commissioner and a football commissioner and a panel of people saying, what's the ideal format competitively? What is a penalty for something who you're going to violate? Whether that's what Michigan did, which is to the extreme, or even just like a helmet throwing incident that, like handing out suspensions and punishments that way. And I know that some of the infrastructure is there for that in place, but in terms of like sending somebody up there to advocate for the league competitively, I do agree with you. It feels like he's at cross purposes because Ohio State wants the revenue for sure. They want the checks from Fox without a question. They also want competitive equity when it comes to kickoff times and qualifying status for the playoff. Like those things are not tied directly to adding more games and adding a different format just to purely benefit the television partners. And by the way, ESPN for the college football playoff. So, I think that is the frustration. It's the give and take. I think that Ross Bjork and Ryan Day see, I don't know, I would guess I'd throw it around like 75, 80%. Like I think that they do share a lot of common purposes, but not all of them. And it's that last 20% that may be the most important.
Yeah. All right. On the field, what was kind of your sense about what Ryan Day really likes about his team? You know him very well. You had a lot of time with him. What is something that you think maybe he's still a little concerned about with his team?
Yeah, I think we've spent so much time over the last 6-7 months talking about Matt Patricia and what is his defense going to look like? What changes do you need to make? Can he sustain what they did as they were in the Silver Bullets were number one in the country in total defense? You won a national championship. And then you lose all these veteran pieces. I think Ryan Day is looking at this like, no, I think this defense is going to be okay. And that allows him to – he's trusting – he has another head coach of the defense. And I think that people are – even if the names are new, even when it comes to the defensive line, he talked about Will Smith and his emergence over the summer at defensive tackle and Kenyatta Jackson being a leader. I think that he kind of looks at the defense as like, no, that's okay. I don't know if Ryan Day has to spend a lot of time there. And I think that then – and it's not that it's a concern, but if you – have a quarterback competition and however people want to feel about it and where you think it might end by August 30th, Ryan Day believes it's a competition. And if you have one at the most important part on the field and you have either one, whether it's Julian Sayin or Lincoln Kienholz, they have never played high leverage snaps. I think that's going to get a ton of attention in the first 2 weeks for good reason. I don't think there's any real concern about the offensive line. There's definitely not a wide receiver. Feels like they have a lot of comfort there with James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson in the backfield. So, I think you look across the board and this roster is still really well built. It's inexperienced. So when you're drilling down to it, that does tie in directly to quarterback. These guys are going to have to get up to speed in a hurry, whether that's just, the way that they practice or get through scrimmages or, Texas and beyond in those first couple of weeks. It's replacing the leadership that they had, which seems like that's really going pretty well based on some of the conversations that, Berman and I had with Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs and Jeremiah, like naming some of these other guys that we hadn't maybe been thinking about using their voices more. But ultimately that also applies to the quarterback. And I now that we're at the point where they're on the practice field on Thursday, and it's like, okay, well, let's actually talk about what this is going to look like. It's not projection anymore. Someone's going to need to take that job in a hurry. And I do think that is everything else is lined up in a way that Ryan Day doesn't have to think about it a ton. Now he does. He's a coach. He doesn't sleep and he worries about everything on the roster. But I think that between him and Brian Hartline and Billy Fessler, like there's going to be a lot of pouring over film and a lot of minutia because they've got to get it right and they've got to get it right in a hurry.
I'll get you out of here on this one. What is the team in the league that you get the sense we're all not talking about enough? Is there a surprise out there in the league?
Yeah, Illinois, I think, Bo. I mean,
people like them.
People like them, and I think there's good reason. I think, for whatever personality things people might like or dislike, I actually really like them with Brett Bielema. I think that it didn't fit in Arkansas. He didn't fit, and the way he talked didn't fit, and the way he built the roster didn't fit. This man is Big Ten to his very core, and he knows what he wants to build. He knows what identity he needs to coach and recruit around. This is going to be a good team, in my opinion. Now, you're going to have to – I say in my opinion. I think a lot of people share that view. But the reason that I bring them up is that there's whatever notion there is that Ohio State's season is going to boil down to Texas and then Penn State and Michigan. Going to Illinois when there's a very good chance that they are undefeated, and that becomes maybe the biggest game that they've had there in however many years, 20, 25, 30. That place is crazy to go. It's difficult with the weather. It's unpredictable. And if their fan base is rabid for an opportunity like that, and they can run the football, and they're going to be really solid on defense, and it's going to be a physical, like, knockdown, drag-out fight, Big Ten style, don't sleep on that game, anybody. I think that's the one that you've got to circle for Ohio State. And even if the Illini lose that, they were right there in that playoff conversation. Bielema was trading barbs with Lane Kiffin 7 months ago about the schedule. They're not falling off. They are going to be a pain no matter what.
He just never should have left Wisconsin.
No, he shouldn't have.
It was perfect.
But now it's like I think he should do every program like that in the Big Ten just to see if he can prove it. Like after he,
like every time a job comes up.
Yeah, like in 2 years he should. When Kirk Ferentz steps down,
perfect.
Like, yeah, I had a great time at Illinois, but now I'm going to go do this at Iowa, and then he's going to do that for 5 years, and then he should go try Indiana when Signetti's shtick wears off. Like I think he should. I think he should coach. He's like the all-time Big Ten coach. Like that. You were the all-time quarterback when you were a kid growing up.
Yeah,
that's what Brett Bielema should be.
I'd like him at Penn State.
Oh,
I think he'd be fun over there.
That'd be real annoying. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be?
Don't give him those resources. No, he's got to do it with less.
I enjoy him. We're all better for it. We're better for having you back, buddy, and I'll see you out there on Thursday.
Can't wait to see you both.
All right, there you go. Austin Ward, The Beat with Austin and Berm on 10 TV Plus, and joining us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Get cash for clunkers during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HRV two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
Hey friends, Beamer here. Dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. Now, I'm not Bryson, a mad scientist, but that sounds good. It's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards every swing. But from personal experience, lose 75 pounds like me, and it's next level distance. Way better consistency, energy, and mood, especially on the back nine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180-degree weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
At Dick's Sporting Goods, we have always believed sport has the power to change lives. Community happens here. Change happens here. Sport happens here. Introducing the all-new Dick's House of Sport, bringing new experiences, new services, and unrivaled selection from the top brands to a new place Polaris can call home. Featuring a rock wall, a HitTrax multi-sport cage, and 3 golf hitting bays. Dick's House of Sport at Polaris Fashion Place. Grand opening celebration August 15th through August 17th.
At United Dairy Farmers, peach is our most popular ice cream. And once you taste it, you'll know why. Right now, get 2 48-ounce cartons of UDF peach ice cream for $10. It's only here for a short time. UDF peach ice cream, made for you.
If only there was a radio show that constantly talked about Ohio State athletics. Well, good news. It's real, baby. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
Proud to be your flagship home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Hey, look, it's Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
You know what I love the most about your store?
What's that, common man?
The way you treat people. You get to know your customers. That's why they keep coming back. No sleazeballs around. Just good, clean boys and girls selling jewelry.
Stop in and see the difference for yourself.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. It's where Columbus gets engaged. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Want to know anything about the fans' contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Monday. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so a little over 2 weeks from now, August 14th, Madden 2026 is going to be released. Adam Schefter had it this morning that their 99 club will feature Lane Johnson, Lamar Jackson, Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Josh Allen, and Myles Garrett. Thing or not a thing?
How about the fact that Joe Burrow threw to 2 99s in college? And Burrow's probably like a 98 or 97 on the thing. That will probably, I mean, gosh, it's Miami has got a team in the early 2000s, the one right before the year before we beat them, that's up there. But just the amount of talent on that team is crazy. Those seem like the appropriate 99s, right? And I think it's still a big deal. I saw Lamar. They gave him like a diamond encrusted 99 like necklace thing. The EA Madden people did. Here's the crazy thing, guys. My kids don't even want Madden this year. Weren't even into it, which is crazy. But that's kind of how far it's just so inferior to the college one that there's no need for them to. They haven't even asked for it.
So I love Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. They're both rated higher than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What are we talking about here?
Just keep doubting him.
I mean, you want the Chiefs to win the AFC again? Go ahead and do this. Travis Kelce got a haircut, looking in great shape. I mean, look out, guys.
You think the Chiefs go scorched earth and like go back to like being an offense? Because they didn't play offensively dynastic the last couple of years. Do they? Does he get back to throwing for 5,000 yards and 45 touchdowns? Like, do they get back to that? It's not like he forgot how.
I don't think he has the receivers to do it, though. I don't know if they have the offensive talent to do it like they did back then. Because you remember they were kind of like the Bengals for a while.
Yeah.
And then they had to switch things up and get better defensively to keep going. So
they've invested a lot. They've invested a ton. I mean, Yeah, they still have. So if Rashee Rice comes back, they still have Xavier Worthy, who came along as it went along. Quite a bit of investment in the run game. Yeah. Yeah, be interesting to see.
The Dallas Cowboys keep doing themselves zero favors. Over the weekend, Jerry Jones was going to speak to fans who were assembled for the team's practice in Oxnard, California, and he was greeted with chants of "Pay Micah." On Sunday, Cowboys EVP Stephen Jones was asked about fans getting restless over the team's ongoing contract stalemate with Micah Parsons. Jones told reporters, quote, "It doesn't change anything. We want to pay Micah too. He's got to want to be paid," end quote. 25-year-old Parsons had 12 sacks in 13 games last season. He missed 4 games due to a high ankle sprain. A thing or not a thing?
Do you think, like, when Stephen has a comment like this that gets a little bit of attention, Jared's like, "Stephen, go to your room.
You're grounded."
It's my spotlight.
Because Jerry did have to come out and say, like, we think Micah's one of the most special players we've ever had.
Right. Don't ever talk about my team again, boy.
I mean, I don't know why he's got to say that he's got to want to get paid. I'm pretty sure Micah does want to get paid. Right. He probably just wants a little more or something different than what they're offering right now. But, like, it shouldn't change anything. Like, what the fans want honestly shouldn't change anything, because what you should be trying to do is ultimately what the fans want, and that's give them the best product and win. So this shouldn't change anything.
No.
Appearing on NFL Network over the weekend, Falcons running back Bijan Robinson wanted to clear the air on how to properly pronounce his first name.
Properly give us the pronunciation of your name.
All right. How you pronounce my name is Bijan. For everybody that's out there, I know a lot of people say Bijan, but it's Bijan. It's Bijan, yeah.
Thing or not a thing?
Why the hell did it take this long? It's kind of like the Tyrod Tyrod thing. Mm-hmm. Remember when he did that?
Yeah.
Tyrod Taylor, like Browns camp, was like, yeah, it's actually Tyrod. Dude, you've been in the spotlight. We've known who you are for a decade. Bijan
3 years at Texas. Where was this?
He was a number 1 running back recruit in the country. All you had to do is tell Tom Lemming or whoever was doing the recruiting at that time, like, this is how you say my name, and we all would have called it that. Why didn't you just stop somebody when he gets to Texas? Can't you just go to the guy who's the Jerry Emig of Texas and just say, hey, it's Bijan. I know everybody says it's Bijan, but it's Bijan. Solved. Done.
Hey,
what took so long?
Hey, Fowler. Hey, Herb Street. That's not how you say it.
It's so easy.
Could have fixed it all a long time ago.
Solved it so long ago.
Is Grey Poupon still a thing? Because I feel like there could be a commercial out of this, right? Like maybe an endorsement opportunity.
Bijan Poupon. It almost feels like if you've gone this long, what's like Tyrod eventually was like, yeah, you can just call me Tyrod. Like no one's changing at this point. Like that's a tough thing to change this far into it.
In case you missed this at Big Ten Media Days, Michigan defensive end Derek Moore said that Ohio State's national championship win wasn't a real win. Quote, "It's no real win if y'all ain't beat us." Well, legendary take maker and haver Jim Rome had a response to that on his show last week.
The thing about the Michigan men, you Michigan men, you're always acting like we're above this. We're actually the class in this. We are Michigan men. We're the actual personification of class. Well, what are you talking about? I want to congratulate them on their natty win, but it wasn't really a win because we beat them. Oh, okay. Let me set you straight, my man. It definitely was a real win. Now, I know the game is everything. It is. Unless you win the national championship. The game is everything unless you go to the college football playoff and then proceed to hammer Tennessee, then run rampage over Oregon, and then punch Texas in the face, and then go beat up Notre Dame in the Natty. You do all that, and believe it or not, people will actually forget that you somehow miraculously lost the game. Believe it or not, men of Michigan, the Natty does not run through Michigan.
Thing or not a thing?
Well said, Romy.
Rock 'em.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Well said. Yeah. Good job out of him. Which dovetails nicely into 20 most interesting programs. It is that team up north. To beat your enemy, you must first learn about them. My hunch is they're in for a long season. We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Save a good deal more with hot deals on Meyer brand must-haves, including new breakfast favorites all season long. Meyer brand syrup, pancake mix, and instant oatmeal are all just $1.79 each. Plus, students will enjoy the well-packed backpack good life with back-to-school supplies for $1 or less, including Meyer brand 24-count crayons, Meyer brand 70-sheet notebooks, and Crayola Classic Colors markers. Shopping for breakfast essentials and back-to-school supplies is a good deal better at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meyer app.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the off-season. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue we actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
I'm an old school Joe. I never lay juice I don't want to lay. I don't hate my money like that. I'd rather lay minus 108 than minus 110, wouldn't you? Prime Sports is Ohio's full-time reduced juice sports book. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound, that's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask second grade teacher Mr. Torres.
Put me and just one Clorox wipe on a team, we can take on crayon smudges, sticky fingerprints on every surface, sneezes on the door handle, juice box explosion by the sink, snack crumbs, and don't even get me started on the bathroom passes.
Clorox disinfecting wipes, teacher's #1 wipe.
Think about it. Bathroom passes.
Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. Did you know their co-founders are Ohio natives? It's true. With over 15 years replacing windows in the Columbus region, Window Nation knows what windows work best for Ohio homeowners like you. And right now you can get 50% off all window styles and no interest until 2030. That's right, 0 interest for 5 years. Take advantage of the best deal of the year. Plus, get 1-day installation with Window Nation. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com for your free quote.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. Baseball's trade deadline is Thursday at 6 o'clock. Both the Reds and Guardians head into that deadline in decent positions in the NL and AL wildcard races. Over the weekend in Cincinnati, the Reds broke out the brooms on the Rays, winning Sunday's finale 2-1. Redlegs are a game out of a wildcard spot. They'll begin a 3-game homestand against the Dodgers tonight at 7:10. You can hear that one on the Fan following the Buckeye show. As for the Guardians, Cleveland enters the week 3.5 games out of an AL wildcard spot. They'll host the Rockies Monday at 6:40. In college football, Colorado head coach Deion Sanders and his medical staff will reportedly hold a press conference this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Sanders is expected to speak about his recent medical issues that have kept him away from Boulder since April's spring game. This update sponsored by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences, tickets, sideline passes, trips to a first-round postseason game, and more. Register today at roosterswings.com.
Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, you hate them, but you can't argue they're interesting. Hit it, fellas.
There are millions of college football teams around the world, but only a handful of them made our cut. Bishop and Friends present the 20 most interesting college football programs.
We are in Ann Arbor. That team up north. You know what's interesting? For the majority of my time around the Ohio State program, going back to my first year here in 2007, this has been a rivalry that Ohio State has dominated. And then there's been many instances where, quite honestly, Michigan wasn't even really worthy of being on the field against Ohio State. It was just beat down Central. There were some really bad teams that Michigan would throw out. And so we got to the point, and it's something that certainly Mike and Bone and others around here have taken a full swing at, and probably deservedly so. I would say that it's not the worst thing for Michigan to win every once in a while. If you want it to be the best rivalry in all of sports, you don't want it in the moment, but just if you can separate big picture wise, it would be okay if they had a little bit of success. Well, they've had a lot of success. The other thing that I've always thought was really important is that both of the schools are good. I think it's really important that both of them are good. I think it's good for the Big Ten that they're both good. I think it's obviously very good for the television partners that they're both good. One thing that's happened, a byproduct of that, and a byproduct of the last 4 years, is my kids view Michigan now the way many of you view Michigan always, which is a hatred that is unknown to mankind. They will not say the name. They will not have any interest in hearing anything about it. And so it's worked in that sense. You want hatred and vitriol and all of it. And I do think, I mentioned this off the top, I think this is the most hatred that there's probably ever been between the two schools. I think it's right now. I think we're in the middle of it right now. I think if Harbaugh was there, it might still be just a little bit more, but it would be hard-pressed to beat what it is right now because they cheated. You were the reason that they cheated. They have yet to be punished for it, and you see them walk around chesty as if they've done nothing wrong and they're above all of it. And you just want your pound of flesh for what they did, and I don't know if you're ever going to get it. I'm dubious to think you're ever going to get it. In terms of where they are as a program right now, they are in a real point of emphasis. This is year 2 for Sharon Moore, his second full season. They went 8-5 in year one. They were getting nothing done on the recruiting front. And then they went, and Larry Ellison's lady friend and Dave Portnoy got some money, and they went and got Bryce Underwood, who really had no interest in ever playing in Ann Arbor, was an LSU commit, was going to go play down there, but the money talked and he stayed. This is a direct pay for play. They came with a bunch of money and they got him to play, and now arguably the number one quarterback in the country will be a true freshman. He's going to be a true freshman at Michigan. My hunch is that he will start at Michigan this year. They were pretty active in the portal as well. Their schedule is one that I think it's a little trickier than some people think. They go to Oklahoma in early September, week 2. They play at Oklahoma. I'm higher on OU than I know some people are. They are at USC in October, and of course they finish the game, and it's the game with the Buckeyes, of course, which will be in Ann Arbor this year. So that's the way that this schedule sets up. There are some critical touchdown games for them. I think the Nebraska game early, the first 4 for them. So they start with essentially a bye against New Mexico at home. Then they're at Oklahoma, then Central Michigan, Connor Stallions Bowl, because he was on the sidelines for that one, as we all remember. Then they're at Nebraska, then Wisconsin, at USC, Washington, at Michigan State, then a little bit of a reprieve. They got Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland, and then they finished with the game, of course, at the end of the year. That stretch from week 2 all the way through Michigan State, aside from Central Michigan, guys, all of those games to me feel like coin flip games. I don't think they're running away from anybody talent-wise. They're going to be wildly inexperienced at quarterback one way or the other. If how do you define a successful season for them? It's probably if you can get to 8 wins. That feels like it to me. If you can be 8-4, this does not feel like a playoff team to me at all. They played ultimate spoiler, obviously, to us last year. You're able to rebound and get the ultimate prize. But that stretch, what's their over-under? Do we have that? Win total? I'm curious what it is for them, because I think they're winning half of those games of the Oklahoma, Nebraska, Wisconsin.
8.5.
I think it's under.
Yeah.
I do. I look at the schedule and it just feels like, man, that's ambitious for them, because I think they're talent-wise along the lines with a lot of those teams. And I think Underwood, unless he's a supernova as a true freshman, it feels like there's going to be some struggles here.
So I think 8 wins is going to feel like a disappointment to Michigan because of the way they ended last year. Beating Ohio State and then beating Alabama and getting to 8-5, I feel like expectations are going to be higher for them. That schedule is soft. Like I think
they're soft.
And I get what you're saying there, but that is a weak. Like Phil Steele has that as the weakest schedule in the Big Ten. The one that Michigan plays, the weakest schedule in the Big Ten. And you might be right, like where Michigan maybe isn't much better than those teams. Here's the problem with Michigan this year to me. I think they have some really good running backs. They have nothing at receiver.
No.
Like their passing game, and I know they're a running team, their passing game, I believe, is going to be non-existent this year. Their offensive line, I don't think, is quite as good as it's been the past couple of years. They're still pretty solid in the front 7. At least defensively. Defensively, they're going to be pretty good. I think Michigan's going to have a lot of 21-17.
Yes.
17-14 type games this year.
So they've got the returning Big Ten kicker of the year. And so, yes, I think if they win a lot of games, it's going to be off of Dominic Zvada's foot. They're lucky that they avoid Oregon and Penn State this season, so they don't have those two on the docket. Sharon Moore is going to be suspended for that Week 3 contest against Central Michigan, and then when they go to Lincoln in Week 4, that's September 20th, he won't be on the sidelines for that. Doubt they're going to need him. But to Baker's point, they bring in Bryce Underwood, bring him from high school. They give him $10.5 million in name, image, and likeness deals. Mikey Keene comes over from Fresno State. To address their lack of a deep threat, Donovan McCulley comes over from Indiana. Anthony Simpson comes up from Arizona. They do get Alabama transfer running back Justice Haynes. So it's a lot of question marks for Michigan offensively. But if they can get it to work with the quarterback spot, I'm very curious to see if Bryce Underwood at all gets a leash. Because if you put him in Week 1 against New Mexico, you're riding him clear to that game on November 29th in Ann Arbor.
I think once you play him forever.
You have to. Yep.
I don't think it's so. I think if he starts Week 1, he plays the whole way. look, I love Phil Steele, ultimate respect. You cannot tell me Michigan's schedule is easier than Illinois'. I mean, Illinois is at Indiana, USC, Purdue, Ohio State, Washington, Rutgers, Maryland, Wisconsin, Northwestern. You can't. I mean, I don't buy that.
Seems to be a lot of the same between the two.
Yeah, and by the way, you have to play Michigan State and Nebraska, and they get a Rutgers in there. So I don't see that at all. I think that, I guess what I mean by this is I view them similarly to Nebraska. I think they're about the same as Nebraska, and Raiola's back for year 2. I don't know what Wisconsin's going to be. No clue. No clue what Wisconsin's going to be. But to me, like I think of at SC, Washington, Michigan State, the Underwood thing, this is going to be what defines if Sharon Moore is here in 3 to 5 years. It's critical that they handle him right, for their perspective, that they handle him right and that he develops correctly. Because this is such a strange thing to take somebody this highly regarded. The reason he's there is for the money. And then offensively, do you put him in the best position to succeed, and do you curate him to be a professional football player? That's their job, right? They did that with JJ, but Harbaugh was there. So what does that look like now? Yeah, I like the under on them. I think it's, to me, 8-4 would be a hell of a year. I think they're going to struggle at Oklahoma in week 2. Can you imagine going from Michigan high school? If that kid starts going from Michigan high school football to at OU, your second start, and you're 18? There's not a lot of data out there that shows you that there's going to be success early if they do indeed go with him. And honestly, I don't know how they don't, because the last thing you can have is him wanting out. So I'm sure they'll start him from week 1 and away they'll go. Yeah, to me, it feels like 8-4 kind of feels where they're at. We'll see. We'll hit the categories on the Maize and Blue coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Common Man here for Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton. My guys at Germain are celebrating their biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. Tons of vehicles on the lot for you to choose from, and they're ready to deal. It's also the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event with rates as low as 2.99%. I was riding in my Lexus on one of our hot summer days, and I felt the crisp breeze of cold air on my cracky. Don't you want that for yourself? Of course you do. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with 0 experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the offseason. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue. We actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
We're taking our gaggle of morons to OSU Fall Camp. T-Bone and Tybus, Morning Juice, and Bishop and Friends. All broadcasting live from the Woody starting Thursday morning at 6. Listen to The Fan. Watch on YouTube and 10TV Plus.
Hey, Ohio, don't wait. The Ohio State Fair is here now through Sunday, August 3rd. Experience fair favorites like the Butter Cow, livestock animals, shopping, delicious food, exciting entertainment, thrilling rides, competitions, and so much more. Make memories that will last a lifetime at the Ohio State Fair through August 3rd. Get your tickets at ohiostatefair.com.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Fan weather
from the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're tracking partly cloudy skies, but also the chance for a few scattered showers and storms here for the afternoon. Not as widespread as what we had over the weekend, but still a chance here for today. Otherwise, it will be hot and humid with highs around 90, and then we got lower 90s here for Tuesday and Wednesday, but another chance for showers and storms as a cold front arrives here on Wednesday. And that's a look at your 10 weather impact forecast here on 97.1 The Fan.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody. Work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, kids. Go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, God. No.
Yeah, I don't think.
Can we do something about this?
I couldn't do that.
Better. Well played.
I had yakety sax queued up, but this feels better.
Yeah, I'll be damned if we're going to play that song. Well played.
Gross.
It's gross. NIL portal grade.
So I gave them a C. They brought in 16. They lost 31. But I think they do get a C because they hit some important parts they needed. They got 2 wide receivers out of the portal that will start for them. Now, I don't know how good those wide receivers are, but at least they're starters. They also needed a couple defensive tackles, losing Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. So they did that. They got Damon Payne from Alabama. So they got those 2 guys that are going to start for them as well. So they didn't get a lot in the portal, but they did plug some holes.
Yeah, they spent $10.5 million, or someone did.
Yeah.
Spend $10.5 million on a quarterback. They got Mikey Keene, also from Fresno State. Like, Davis Warden couldn't be your quarterback option going into 2025. To Baker's point, they get a B from me because they had needs and they addressed them. And they addressed them of guys with pedigree. So Indiana, Arizona, Alabama, the 3 offensive skill positions they've brought in. Those are the schools they played at last year. If you're running back at Alabama, chances are at one point you were really good at football. So I think it was worth the swing for them.
Yeah, I think you're both. I'm going to split the difference. I think it's like a B-. I do think that the Bryce Underwood thing unlocked something for them. They're like Ohio State and some others, Penn State, among others. These big northern schools that have big alumni bases and boosters with a lot of money. And so if they're locked in and they don't get dinged by the NCAA, they can do it pretty good. They finished, I think, behind Ohio State and Oregon in the Big Ten in 2025 recruiting. I think 5th in the country or 6th in the country. This year they're recruiting in the top 10 in the country. That's kind of what they've been since Harbaugh's been there. They've been kind of a top 10 type operation, and Moore's kind of continued that. But I think the Underwood thing kind of, I can't go lower than a B because they did get that deal done at that price. Would Buddy Garrity want to run their collective bake?
No way.
No chance.
No way. This is my first F, I think.
Yeah.
And I think all these grades should be an F probably, but yeah, there's not a chance.
Yeah, F for this, F them all. I do wonder what school in the North Buddy Gary would have any interest in running the collective of.
He'd thrive here.
Would he want to come here though? Like, would he want?
Yeah.
Could he do? If he could do it, I guess virtually.
Yeah, I think he'd do fine.
We've got enough hillbillies here. He'd be good.
Yeah, he'd do all right. I think he'd be okay here. I think he'd thrive in, like, Nebraska. I think there's some spots he'd thrive in. I think he'd do. This is an F, though. Yeah, I think there's no chance that he would fit in there at all, and he wouldn't want to. Campus social life grade, Ann Arbor.
I think this is an F, too. I don't want to go to Ann Arbor.
Yeah,
not that.
No interest for me.
They got that one good deli. That's kind of good.
Great.
That's about it. But no, it's...
Hope their power's out.
Yeah. Do they wear the right uniform grade at Michigan?
No.
F. No, I can't do that. I
jumped over you.
I got to stay consistent here, right? I mean, when you see that winged helmet, man, you know who it is. And I don't love the colors. I don't love the yellow or the maize, as they call it. But I think it's probably an A.
Yeah, you might be right. They've done some throwbacks that have stunk. Like they were bumblebees one year, and that was a really goofy look. That might have been Rich Rod and like Denard Robinson for that team. But it is, when you think of college football, to Baker's point, it's an all-time uniform.
Yeah, you remember when they were with Adidas and they couldn't even wear the right color of yellow. It was almost like a highlighter bright yellow because Nike owned the maize color that was the yellow, which was a darker yellow. Mm-hmm. And so they had to wear like the wrong uniforms for a while. They were a mess. I mean, from Rich Rod through the beginning, Hoke recruited okay. He just was a clown when it was 25 below zero, would wear short sleeves to prove a point without a headset on. It was just such an odd thing, but he recruited better. The Rich Rod hire, they were never behind him. There's a great John U. Bacon book to read about just the dysfunction of all of that. But yeah, I think that they do. One thing that they do with Harbaugh that I don't love is they'll go like the monochrome all navy.
So bad.
I don't like that at all. I think the white pants look good on the road. I think those are good for them. But yeah, this is an iconic uniform, and I do think Ohio State and Michigan could go color versus color once.
They should every year.
No, they should every year. Come on.
Yeah, couldn't you do that? I mean, USC and UCLA did it, and it looks great. I don't know if we've ever done it in the history of the rivalry. I'd have to get Jack Park on the phone to find out if they've ever worn, Scarlet versus Navy.
I could have swore that happened once, but I have been told it did not. But I swear I remembered that one time. But
wouldn't that look great?
God, it looks so good.
It's the perfect opposite. The gold to the silver, the red to the blue, like it's the perfect. Everything's
you're
opposite.
Not going to get them confused.
No. I think you could do it. The problem is, I just don't. They might hate each other so much that they might even not want to have a conversation about it. Like they won't even get on the phone to say, "Hey, should we try this?" Like there's never been more vitriol with it than there is currently. I just stand by that. I don't think there's anything close in the history. Go ahead.
Tony Petitti is all about making money, right? Let's sell it. The color, the game. Like we could sell it. Sherwin-Williams could buy it. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Ohio company buying it. We'd like that. Which player off their team would we want in scarlet and gray?
There's got to be someone. There's got to be someone on this roster that we would want. I just don't know who it is for me. I honestly don't know. Maybe Damon Payne, the defensive tackle that they brought in from Alabama.
Yeah.
But there's got to be someone I'm missing. I just don't know who it is.
The returning Big Ten kicker of the year, Dominic Savada.
That's a good one, Reese.
That's a pretty
That's
good job,
the winner.
Reese.
You bring in the kicker.
Yeah. I mean,
that may be the one Ohio State needs more than anyone in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because you think, like, I'm not having Derek Moore down here after him running his mouth. Like, I want no part of that.
Go to hell.
Yeah, he can go straight. The safety, Rod Moore, the safety, he got hurt, and he's an Ohioan. He might be able to add a little something, but I think you're right. I think it is. I think it's the kicker is probably the one thing that you'd kind of want.
And that's not a knock on them, right? Because that kicker's really darn good.
He's a great kicker.
Really all time, who is the one? I'm going to throw a little monkey wrench in this, a little curveball for you guys. All time, who is the one Ohioan who played there that you wish has played here?
Woodson.
Desmond, Woodson. There's been a lot.
Gerbach.
Yeah, been a lot. It's Woodson, though. It's Woodson. I don't know. I'm very curious if they ever had a chance with him. He's a Fremont kid. That's way up there. In that part, but yeah, Woodson and Scarlet Gray would have been.
I have a buddy that, so Woodson would have been 2 years, I think, ahead of me in school, maybe a little more.
Yeah.
But I have a buddy that was like a freshman at a team that they played when Woodson was a senior in basketball, and Woodson dunked right on his face, and like he tells that story proudly, like, "Hey, Charles Woodson dunked on me."
It's a good story. He's probably the answer to this, too. Who's your all-time big man on campus at Michigan, Bake?
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy that in a school that had maybe the greatest quarterback to ever do it all time, Tom Brady, the answer is Woodson, but Brady didn't start his whole career there. They bounced back and forth between him and Drew Henson. It is. I don't think it's a doubt it's Charles Woodson. There's a lot of guys, but it's Woodson.
Yeah, the top is Woodson. I think, though, that J.J. McCarthy could walk back on campus and not purchase a drink.
Are we sure it's not Harbaugh?
Could be Harbaugh.
I mean, multiple-year starter, guaranteed a victory against Ohio State, fell on his face as a coach in the rivalry, and then walks out like Danny Ocean. I mean,
I do know.
I think it's Woodson, but I think Harbaugh's in I think he's on their Mount Rushmore. And if you want to get into their head and think who they love, I bet you Harbaugh's on that list.
I do know a couple Michigan fans, though, that have not liked the past couple of years and the stain they feel that it brought to the program, and they do not like Harbaugh's antics the last 4 or 5 years there. So I don't know if I think most Michigan fans are on board with him. I don't think all of them are, though.
Yeah. Okay. Win it all, playoff, conference champ, respectable, or chump?
I think this is respectable to me because I just don't, and they could surprise me, but I just don't see them in the Big Ten Conference Championship game this year. I just don't think they are there where they've been the previous couple years before last year. So I think it's just respectable.
I do think that their ceiling is an at-large or college football playoff team.
Okay.
But I agree with Baker. It's respectable.
So like fourth Big Ten team in type thing?
Like in Indiana.
Fourth, fifth, somewhere around there.
You're still for them to host a game, a first-round playoff game at the Big House, I think would be a huge win for them.
Yeah, I think they just get in would be a huge win because I see them at 8-4, and I don't think they are going to be in. But I think it'll be respectable for them, and I think the success for them will be as if Bryce Underwood is better as the season goes along. I think that's how you measure it. Angelique Chengalis, she's great. She'll join us in 2 minutes on Michigan. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
Irish adventure awaits at the Dublin Irish Festival August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food and fun. Enjoy unique Irish experiences as you explore one of the top festivals in the US. Drawing over 90,000 guests to Dublin, Ohio each year. Get your tickets at dublinirishfestival.org.
Hi, this is Bob Masheter from Dick Masheter Ford. Thank you to all of Central Ohio as we head towards 60 years of doing business in the Buckeye State. Dad opened up in 1967 simply trying to offer a better way to buy a car, and we've been working ever since to serve our neighbors. We have served you through wars, recessions, and even a Chinese virus. Here is to serving you and your kids and your grandkids for the next 60 years, except on Sundays when we're closed, because it's the right thing to do. Still 24/7 at masterford.net. Thanks.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, if you want to know what's happening in the Michigan program, there's one person that we like to talk to, and that is Angelique Chengalis. She covers Michigan at the Detroit News. It's a privilege and a pleasure having you on, Angelique. Great talking to you as always. Let's just a couple off the field and we'll get to the team. Do you have any idea when we're going to hear if and when there are punishments from the NCAA at Michigan? And what is your sense, talking to folks up there, about what they think those punishments could be, if any?
Well, Bo, I mean, I've talked to a couple of lawyers and, because there's people saying, oh, this is going on. They're like, look, no one knows what's going on with the COI. And I had done a story before the hearings in early June and talked to a guy who'd been in 4 COI hearings. And he's like, once it ends, you don't hear from them until they issue the punishment. And they get like a maybe 24-hour head start, the school, the offending school, and they can prepare for it. But my gut feeling, Bo, and this is just purely a guess because the one other lawyer I talked to said, if there are suspensions involved, they'll obviously want to get this done before the season starts. My gut feeling is the week before game week, so that third week in August. And I just think that makes the most sense and, it gives the school a chance to prepare if they have a suspended head coach or any other coaches. And but, I think that there is an element of optimism among the Michigan people I've talked to. They feel like they made a very solid presentation at the 2-day hearing. And, I feel like there's confidence, but, the Petiti letter, the leak was interesting. I know that commissioners tend to do this to support their member schools, but, maybe he was making the point that, look, the Big Ten was able to do what the NCAA can't, which is punish in real time, and gave Jim Harbaugh the 3-game suspension. That said, I still think that suspension is definitely on the table for Sharon Moore. Repeat offender. He was suspended. He negotiated a 1-game suspension in 2023. So I do think that's on the table, and they're preparing for it. I asked Sharon about it Thursday in Vegas, and, they have a plan. He wouldn't say what it is, who might be the interim. I suspect to be Chip Lindsey. But, they don't know yet. And I think that's fair. I mean, just talking to people, no one knows yet.
How fatigued are they with this?
Well, wait, I wish you were asking me how fatigued I am with
this.
How
fatigued are you with this?
I've been fatigued for 3 years. I mean, this is crazy. Yeah, I mean, who wants this hanging over a program? I mean, you're getting ready for the next season. You just want this over with at this point, and it's coming to a conclusion. I mean, there will be some answers here, I do think, in the next couple weeks, and then they move on. But yeah, I think everybody's sort of sick of it. Maybe you're sick of it. I mean, I know I am. I mean, but you have to cover it, and it's legitimate. And but it's like, okay, you signed up to cover college football. And you take everything that comes with it, but at this point, it's like, God, I just would rather cover the next season coming up.
Yeah, No, it is, and it's part of the way that the NCAA, the bureaucracy of it, and how long all of it takes. And the other thing is, and I tell our audience down here, like, because obviously they want their pound of flesh down here. I mean, they feel specifically aggrieved, but I don't even know what that is in this day and age of NIL and pay for play and all of this. I don't even know what that looks like, and I know that the Big Ten doesn't want it because, quite honestly, they need Michigan and they need Ohio State to anchor their television slots, especially noon and 3:30. Like, they need them to be good. So, like, that's part of it too, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that there is all the talk about vacated wins and postseason bans. And again, talking to these lawyers who've been involved in the process. And one of them actually had been, he wouldn't let me name him in the story, but he'd been part of NCAA enforcement until last year. So he was in the thick of their side of things. And look, they know the process takes too long. And they also, both of these lawyers, they sort of, the enforcement guy really like pauses and is like, well, they don't, you're not going to have vacated wins unless there is an ineligible player involved, and there wasn't in this case. And postseason bans, the NCAA has been drifting away from that. But yeah, I mean, they obviously, everybody involved in the numbers business, they want Michigan there. And they don't want to have anything hanging over them for the reasons you said. And that may or not be right, but I think that's definitely that's the approach that everyone is taking, and I would think even the NCAA.
Okay, year two, fully year two. He did some interim. How's it going for Sharon Moore with everything that comes with being the head coach at Michigan, on the field, off, all of it?
I think he's still learning the job, and that was my issue with him getting the job. Is I don't think at a program like a Michigan or Ohio State or any of the big programs, Georgia, you don't learn on the job. You get someone who's been involved and has been a head coach, and so I think he has been learning on the job since he got it, and that takes time, and I think it was a rough start when he didn't have a defensive staff. And here's a guy who does not have an enormous network of coaches. It's not like he's been coaching that long that he knows people and can just pick up the phone and call them and have them come to Michigan. So I think it took him time to figure that part of it out, and he's getting better at it. And I think the players like him, but that's not the most important thing. Is can he coach? Can he make this work? And they're feeling good about themselves the way last season ended with the 3-game winning streak. But how much does it actually count toward the new season? So I think we'll see. And they've got a new quarterback, more than likely. I mean, Sharon is trying to say there's going to be a quarterback competition, but I think everyone knows Bryce Underwood, if he's not the starter in game one, will be the starter very early in the season. And you'll see, but I think he's very lucky that Wink Martindale's back for a second season. That was an important ingredient. And that he brought in, I know people probably don't talk about it. I think it's very important. They brought in Juan Castillo as a offensive line analyst and Eric Campbell as a receiver analyst, because I think both of those position groups really needed some experienced coaching, and they're getting that now. So those were two good hires, I think, that Sharon's made.
Angelique, you mentioned Underwood, just stunning story, and it continued kind of their momentum, right? End of the season momentum, bowl momentum, and then they get the number one quarterback in the country who's from the state. It's an incredible learning curve to go from high school football in the state of Michigan to the Big Ten, and you got Oklahoma week 2. How do you think Sharon Moore will handle him, and what type of player is he? When is the last time they had a quarterback at Michigan of this type of regard coming in? Is it Henson? Is it all the way back then? Who is that?
Well, I mean, I keep saying J.J. McCarthy was a 5-star, and people sort of forget that. I think more toward Drew Henson, and I talked to Drew about this. I mean, J.J. didn't have this star factor that Bryce had, and that certainly that Drew Henson had. So we talked a lot about that. Like, how does a young kid, and Drew also had Yankee money coming into Michigan, so he can relate to Bryce in those terms, and being 17, 18 with all of a sudden all this money, and how do you deal with it? But I think, again, no one's listening to me, and I'm not they're not asking for my coaching advice, but if Mikey Keene was healthy, I definitely would have done what they did with JJ his first year with Cade, and start Cade, and you bring JJ in. and you let him get his feet wet and understand how the game works, what defenses look like, and this isn't high school football, as you said, but I don't think that's going to be the case, and I think this is really a sad statement for me that I had a dream a couple weeks ago, frankly, that it was the first game of the season. Bryce is starting, and he handed off. Every play was a handoff, and the stadium starts booing. So, but I don't think that's unreasonable to expect. They've got to get him comfortable. And former Michigan quarterbacks I've talked to, and I've talked to quite a few of them, and some of them are, the older guys, they all just sort of shrug and say, he's a freshman, and so one of them said, throwing against Ohio State is not like throwing against Northville High. So, you've got a learning curve, as you said, but he is talented. And but again, I think, gosh, is the offensive line going to be good enough for him? And I was talking to Devin Gardner about this the other day, and I said, I keep thinking about 2013. He goes, no way the offensive line is as bad as that offensive line when he just got shredded against Michigan State. But is it going to be good enough to protect the young guy? I think that's, to me, the bigger question mark.
So I'm looking at this schedule, and you see Oklahoma week 2, and then you see a stretch of at Nebraska, Wisconsin, at USC, Washington, Michigan State. It's a pretty brutal stretch from a Big Ten schedule, of course, and with Ohio State up there in Ann Arbor. What for you how would you define success for this Michigan team this year?
See, isn't it interesting? I think of that the same way you do. I think that looks like a tough stretch. I talked to a couple coaches on this current staff just chit-chatting. They think it's not a tough schedule. Like, they think it's not that big of a deal going into Oklahoma. And I think, well, this is crazy. I mean, you're going with a freshman quarterback. I think I'm looking at 8-4, 7-5 again. And I thought that was what I said last year. I was definitely leaning more towards 7-5. And yes, there's always the optimism going into the season. You hear everybody at Big Ten Media Days. Everybody's got a championship team at Media Days. But I just think offensive line is too much of a question mark. Right tackle's going to be really good, but the rest of it, I don't know. And running game should be okay, and the defense should be okay. The corners, I'm not sure. I think that's a concern. I think 8-4 is a good season, but I'm telling you, there is definitely optimism within the team that they've got something going, and this schedule's not as daunting as you and I might think.
That makes me feel good because I said 8-4 too. And that's
okay,
kind of where that looks like 8-4 to me. You know more about it than anybody we talk to. So if you're saying 8-4, then I feel good about it. That's what it kind of looks like to me as well. It's always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time and giving us a little bit of it today.
Thanks, Bo. I appreciate you thinking of me. Thank you.
All right, there she goes. Angelique Chengalis covers Michigan at the Detroit News, the best in the business on that front. We hit 3 things on a Monday. Coming up next, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This Ohio State football training camp report is brought to you locally on The Fan by Weber Grills.
Ohio State football. Training camp report.
And this report is brought to you statewide by Safelite Auto Glass and Bob's Discount Furniture. Well, it's understandable why folks are still basking in the glow of Ohio State winning the national championship, running through the 12-team playoff field last year, ultimately beating Notre Dame. But head coach Ryan Day says once the title was achieved, well, they turned the page to get ready for the next piece of work.
Once the confetti hits the ground and we win a national championship, it is on to the next thing. So, where do you find your purpose? And to me and to our staff, it has to be that you're pouring into young people. We're helping young people reach their dreams and goals. So, when we're standing on the stage, it had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with everybody else because it took everybody.
We'll have more after this.
Summer is here, and it's time to plan your style staycation with Bob's Discount Furniture, where you can find everyday low prices on the hottest styles. The comfiest Consumer Reports recommended mattresses, flexible financing to fit your budget, and fast, friendly delivery. So stock up and score everyday low prices, delivered on time all summer long at your nearest store or at mybobs.com. Oh, my Bob! Bob's Discount Furniture, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
As Ohio State gets ready to start their summer camp later this week, all of the things that were key elements in winning last year's national championship, according to head coach Ryan Day, are things that need to be put in place and evolve even further to get ready for what they're chasing in 2025.
Everybody focuses on that final result and what it looked like and all those things. We needed to get back to the beginning of the process and focusing on the process and not necessarily, focusing on the result. And I think last year we did a good job of that because we came up short in 2 games. We knew our process was right. We just had to tweak some things along the way. We knew the foundation was right.
The season opener for the Buckeyes will be Saturday, August 30th against Texas. We'll have another report tomorrow. This is Paul Keels, and you're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
We've had an incredible year, Buckeyes fans. It's time to celebrate the offseason with warmer weather, long nights, and incredible grilled food. Weber Grills has everything you need to have a winning summer. From our newest line of Spirit gas grills to our award-winning Searwood wood pellet and slate griddle grill, Weber Grills is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Learn more at Weber.com.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
my debit card.
Their debit card.
Where'd I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound, that's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask second grade teacher Mr. Torres.
Put me and just one Clorox wipe on a team, we can take on crayon smudges, sticky fingerprints on every surface, sneezes on the door handle, juice box explosion by the sink, snack crumbs, and don't even get me started on the bathroom passes.
Clorox disinfecting wipes, teacher's #1 wipe.
Think about it. Bathroom passes.
Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll asks, which of these quarterbacks do you think will have the best NFL season with their new team this year? Sam Darnold with the Seahawks, Aaron Rodgers with the Steelers, or Geno Smith with the Raiders? 39% say Sam Darnold's going to have the better year. 31% say Geno Smith. 28% say Aaron Rodgers in the Steel City.
Who's the receivers other than Bowers with the Raiders? Who's he throwing to? Because he can spin it. I mean, statistically, I would think he would have the best.
Who's a little white dude for Clemson? I mean, I say little. He's taller than me.
Hunter Renfrow?
Hunter Renfrow might be with
I thought maybe he retired.
the Raiders.
I'm not sure who's there with them.
Pull it up here real quick.
Yeah, I think success for all of those guys is measured differently. Like for Rodgers, he's got to make the postseason with the Steelers. I don't think anybody cares statistically what he is. I just can't buy Darnold until I see it again. I just remain skeptical, despite the year he had in Minnesota. kind of remain a little skeptical to me that he's.
Looks like they have no one.
Yeah,
Jacoby Myers, Colin Johnson, who was at Texas a few years ago. Philip Dorsett's a name you may remember.
Jeez. Yeah.
They got nothing.
Yeah, Renfro's with the Panthers.
Okay. Yeah, so that makes it tough for them. I like Rodgers' weapons a little bit, and I think Pittsburgh's going to be fine. I think he'll be fine there, too. So I guess I would go Rodgers on that. All right, time for 3 things on a Monday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number 1 for me. So since he was a puppy, Buddy Garrity has been terrified of our swimming pool. He is a golden retriever. Okay? Now, it's in the brochure, like water. I mean, that's it. He's supposed to, right? He won't. I've brought him in with me when he was really little, and he would just panic. And yet I look at him and I go, God, I think you'd love this, bud. I think you'd love the exercise. I think you'd love playing fetch, jumping in. I think you'd love swimming. It's cool. Like it cools you off a little bit. So I bought him like these swim booties that I put on him, because one thing I knew when training him, like if I do the same thing every day with him in terms of the process, like when I go on a walk, there's a certain leash that I use, and then he sees the leash and he gets excited. So I got him these booties. I thought, well, maybe if I put these booties on him, he'll hop in. So he's big now. He's 80 pounds. So sure enough, I get him on him. He's kind of excited about that, wagging his tail. And last night I grab him and he's like, "No, Dad, no, I'm not." I'm like, "Bud, come on, let's give it a shot." So I pick him up and I kind of walk him in with me. And I don't put him all the way in. I just put like his feet in and his belly in, and I'm just kind of holding him in the pool. And he's kind of bouncing around, but I can tell he's not for it. So I'm like, I know you can swim because you fell in when you were little and you swam across, and innately I know that you can. And so I kind of let him go. He got out in a half second. Like a half second. I thought for sure he would like it. But and so this morning he was out there screwing around. The pool was open and no interest. So I guess he's the one golden retriever who won't like water. It's done. We tried.
Yeah, Coyote will flop around and you have to almost physically pull him out.
He loves it.
Yeah. We had asked earlier in the show, or we had at least asked the powers that be to have Ohio State and Michigan go color on color in some version of the game in the future. Jeremiah sends this in at 971 BFS. They did color on color in 1954 and includes a color photograph. Now, this was the game where top-ranked Ohio State beat Michigan 21-7. And if the color photo is legitimate, and Jeremiah is correct in this, it's gorgeous.
It's stunning, right?
It works. Do it.
By the way, gray on the sleeves on those Buckeye uniforms.
Big gray sleeves.
Yep.
So my first thing, I'm going to take that a little further. It sounds like they wore color on color in the rivalry until that 1954 game, and they stopped doing it because it was hard to tell which team was which on black and white TV.
Oh.
Well, I haven't seen a black and white TV since I was like 3 years old. So let's get on it and get it back. Color on color. Let's go.
I just think they hate each other so much that they can't even talk to say, hey, should we do this? Like they can't even make that call anymore.
Well, then, Bo, let's step in and let's go to someone. Let's make the decision for them.
We got Angelique and we got John Bacon on the Michigan front. We can work with both of them to see if we can get something done, because I think it would be beautiful.
Talk to Ross this week.
Put that on the list of things. All of a sudden, we're going to have it. It's 6 hours, just us with Ross. Number 2 for me, kind of a wild thing, but officially official. Neither of my 2 littles are playing football this year. So Beamsy hasn't played. He didn't play last year. He's going to sit it out again. And then Bootsy made the official decision of the weekend. I'm like, are you sure you don't want to? He's like, yeah, I just don't. And one thing I know, having coached football, I think it's the hardest thing you can coach because of the incredible physical differences that people have. You can't make a kid play football. You just can't. They just get hurt. It's a brutal spot. So if a kid doesn't want to play, folks, don't make them. The physicality is enough that they can put themselves in harm's way pretty quick. So it's going to be strange, like to not have to go to youth football on Saturdays this fall. It's going to be wild.
If you're in need of a pick-me-up today, I would recommend you go on social media and watch Nikola Jokic celebrate after his horse, excuse me. His horse won a harness race in Serbia, and he celebrates I think, and is crying during said celebration as he goes out to hug the jockey, hug some of the trainers. Like, it's almost as if he won the NBA. It might even be more emotional than when he won the NBA championship. It's beautiful, though. So, again, a pick-me-up, Nikola Jokic, videos of his horse winning a race in Serbia.
Do you remember the press conference after he won the championship with the Nuggets, and he's like, we have to go to a parade? I just want to go home and deal with my horses
to race.
So funny, so good. Greg Sankey, SEC commissioner, tweeted this out a little over 30 minutes ago. An encouraging health note to everyone. Go see your doctors and get your regular checkups. Today was colonoscopy day for me, and all was well. For those who have encouraged me to put things where the sun does not shine, you got your wish today. Take care of your health. Good job out of you, Mr. Sankey.
Well done out of him as absolutely. No time for 3 today. I will give you a little teaser for tomorrow's show. We are going to do, Austin said something in passing that I feel like I could get my full weight behind. So we're going to do that in the show tomorrow. Rothman and Ice is coming up next. We are back tomorrow. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Bobby Carpenter demands that you watch Morning Juice on YouTube. If you don't, Tito will move into your house.
Live at 6 a.m. on YouTube and streaming on the Fan app.
Upgrade your learning experience during Dell Technologies Back to School event with AI PCs like the Dell 14 Plus featuring an Intel Core Ultra processor starting at $749.99. Supercharge your studies with features like real-time notes transcription, AI accelerated hardware to run multiple apps without slowing down, extended battery life, and more. That's the power of new AI PCs with Intel inside. Discover a smarter way to learn at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
So we bought an actual shopping mall and put one of the largest Honda dealerships in the world inside of it. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. So it's big. We house about 150 to 200 cars indoors, lit, all unlocked, ready for you to be able to view and see. A fully tempered climate. Doesn't matter if it's raining outside, 10 below zero, super hot. There's real trees inside, and it's just a casual environment. And if you haven't seen it, it's really a cool story, not about its opulence. It's just a cool story to see what was a dilapidated old mall being reinvigorated into a pillar in the community that everybody benefits from.
This July at Lindsay Honda, our famous Cash for Clunkers is back during our Honda Summer event. Get up to $3,500 minimum for your trade and use it for a down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash. Only at Lindsay Honda.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And bet and reduce juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger, and you can get started now by saving when you join today. We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need, and you can work out your way on your time at any convenient location near you. Most open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save. Just $1 down, $15 a month.
Offer ends July 31st.
See Home Club for details.
1-800-GOT-JUNK does two things differently.
We repurpose a lot of the junk we haul away.
So the donatables get donated to a family that needs them, and the recyclables get recycled.
Your neighbors are happy, and the planet is healthy.
What's number two?
We have enough trucks that we can come the day you call us.
1-800-GOT-JUNK is the world's largest junk removal service.
And that's good for your neighbors, and for the planet.
And for you, because we can come the day you call us.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and dropping just 25 pounds with Awaken 180 can actually give you 10 extra degrees of golf swing rotation. That's about a half a club longer, 6 to 10 extra yards on every swing. But from experience, lose 75 pounds like I did, and now we're talking next level distance, consistency, and even mood, especially on the back nine. And actually, every pound you drop takes 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. So I lost 300 pounds of pressure off of mine. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame.